Welcome, everyone, to There Are Four Hosts. Once again, there are four hosts. I'm your first host, Sabrina, today. You can find me, as always, on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter at VoidCatGaming.
And
Michael?
I'm Michael, and you can find me at Blue Beetle Games. Jay?
Hey, everyone, this is Just Average Jay on all the socials. You can call me Jonathan.
And I'm Keith Justice Hayward, and I keep messing up what I am on Twitter. Apparently, I am just Keith Hayward on Twitter, so you can look for that. It's not Keith Hayward Prime,
excellent.
but yeah, you can see me there in all my goofy postings.
And
About Stargate
today
Atlantis.
we're talking about... And Stargate Atlantis. Today we're talking about episode 5? Is it already episode 5?
Pretty sure
Yes.
it is.
Yeah.
How did we get here? Episode 5 of Picard.
It just things go so fast when you love them, you know? It's like
I didn't... Sure, I didn't write the name of the episode down. I wrote the heist episode, so I hope that's helpful for you. Does anybody remember the name of the episode?
Stardust City Rag.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
What a heist episode name too. Just like it wants to be a film noir, right?
Yeah.
That should be the title of a film noir sci-fi. Perfect. Oh, right. It is. Okay, got it. Where was I? All right. The first episode starts on Vergathin, 13 years ago, with Isheb. Poor sweet Isheb.
Jesus Christ.
Ouch.
Yeah, who wants to start on this one? Keith, you start on this one. How do you feel?
Oh my god. They gave each of the business. Oh, what the hell? Like, I'm watching, I'm like, okay, all right then. If this is what you guys are going to do, I'm just dropping all my Star Trek expectations, and you guys do whatever you want. And it was kind of hideous, and I feel like...
But in a good way, right?
Sort of. I feel like the show is going all in on, like, it knows that, like, fans are really upset with, like, the grimy tone of Star Trek, and they're just kind of saying, fuck it, let's just have some fun. And that's what I'm seeing on the screen.
Michael?
Yeah. I mean, I know you guys think it's like not. It feels like too that it's not Star Trek anymore, but I still think that at its core it is. I mean, and I think also that there's going to be little pockets of the universe that are not this utopia, so it's going to be fucked up like that. But I don't know. That's just my 2 cents.
What? I didn't even say anything yet.
No, I know, but I know you guys are going to go there. Sorry, I jumped ahead.
you know them so well.
I do.
That's fine. Yep, that's fine. Jay, how'd it go?
Well, first off, I really enjoyed Icheb on Voyager, so I was like distraught when I saw that scene.
I mean, good. I think that was the point of the scene, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then, it's weird. For me, it was a little bit of a weird scene seeing Seven of Nine be so emotional toward him, because in Voyager she was so kind of cold, because she was ex-Borg, and she gets a little bit of her humanity in Voyager, but not to what we see here in Picard. So it was very, to like what she say, I think something like my child or my boy or something.
Yeah, my child. I wrote it down. My child.
And it's just like, it was one of those things where I was torn, because part of me was like, wait a minute, that doesn't feel right, because that's not what we're used to hearing type stuff from Seven,
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it pulls your heartstrings, and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is the closest thing she had to a kid.
Yeah, the my child line felt kind of forced to me, but
yeah,
Same.
a little bit.
I actually wrote lol next to it.
lol.
Let me talk about that. For a sec. The thing that you were saying, Jay, about that exactly it feeling forced. It's not even necessarily for me that I was like, Seven of Nine used to be a lot less emotional. I mean, it's been like, 20 years.
Yeah.
Fine. I'm okay with her having like regained more of her feeling and emotion and stuff, especially since she, at least in one relationship, reverted to her human name. But I feel like the Isha being my child thing reminds me of the Data was my best friend thing. Like, they had a relationship, but I don't know if it was that strong. I mean, I suppose it makes sense that after she got off Voyager, she would have like stayed in contact with the Borg kids that were on board. But I feel like that relationship, she was closer to Naomi Wildman, but they couldn't use Naomi Wildman for that scene because Naomi Wildman wasn't a Borg. It had to be a Borg, so they were like, oh yeah, she was close to Isheb because he's the most memorable Borg child on there.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I could see her saying like my friend, but my child was just a bit much.
yeah, my child was a bit much.
But it still pulled my heartstrings, you know?
Yeah, but see, that's the
Good.
thing. Anytime you're seeing anybody mourn their child, it's gonna pull your heartstrings. It doesn't have to be well written for that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the scene is poorly written. Just like in general, that's a trigger that's gonna hit you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm glad it worked for you. It's just kind of like, for me, it seemed kind of, yeah, I guess the word is forced. Where it's kind of like, okay, now, guys, okay, just you guys just go straight for our hearts without like doing some kind of organic build-up. All right, let's do this.
Yeah.
I'm okay with. I'm okay with the brutal torture of ex-Borg people by the villain because I mean, we've had villains that were pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sure. I don't expect the villains to be following the Trek ideal. Which is why I was like, come on, Michael, I haven't even said anything yet.
Sorry.
It really just concerns me when it's within the Federation
I gotcha.
itself.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I get that they're going for what happened to my country thing. I have accepted that and moved on, so I'm going to try not to bring that up. But I've got things to say about specific characters in replacement of that. So, I mean, we're not in the clear yet. But as long as you're having a good time, Michael,
I'm having a blast.
We
We're
expect
glad about
nothing
it.
less from you, Sabrina, okay?
It's true. I never said I didn't like it.
Yeah. As long as someone's enjoying it,
Yeah.
it should exist. All right. Blah, blah, blah. We're on Free Cloud now at the piano bar.
Yeah.
Okay? Free Cloud. This is before we see Picard and stuff, so it's the lady whose name I forget, but I know the letter J is in it somewhere.
Bajazel.
J.
Bajazel. Bajazel.
J. Another
Like
J.
Gem and the holograms or something.
Totally,
I saw somebody
outrageous.
say that they heard the word and they were like, Vajazzle? And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I was a little too close to that for comfort.
I continually heard that, and I had to like Google go like, is it just me? Am I dirty? But no, it does sound on the nose. It's like it's with the letter B, Bajazzle. It's just like okay, all right.
It was weirder because they put her in a skin-colored bedazzled suit, and I'm just
yes.
like, awkward combination there. I did really like her shoulder pieces. I think those were clearly like laser printed.
Those were my favorite part too.
Yeah,
I like her
actually,
nails.
I don't have any complaints about her costume because it's already Blackjack and Hooker's Star Trek anyway.
Yep.
Anybody else? Okay, okay. Now let's just talk about her first. How do you feel about her, Keith?
Free Cloud is Risa with Blackjack and Hookers.
Yeah.
Like, that was straight up what just happened there. Like, they could have gone to Risa, but they went to this place, and they have a woman who wears a sparkle suit, and she's a freaking murderous killer. I don't know. She's definitely an odd one. I'm not sure even what to think yet. It's just
I'm not sure I would say that it's Risa with Blackjack and Hookers. It's more like, I mean, I did write Space Las Vegas, so fair enough.
Yeah.
But Risa is like the, ooh, let's have a good time on the beach kind of Las Vegas, and
Basically,
Free Cloud is the, hey, there's a bunch of hackers here, and we're gonna like just ruin someone's life.
This is Hawaii. This is Vegas.
Here's what I think
Right.
of Free Cloud. I think of Free Cloud, if there was a big pile of cocaine, it would be Scarface. She would be Scarface. That's
Right.
what I was thinking the whole time. I'm like, this is like Tony Montana in his club.
Yeah, it's the film noir episode.
Yeah.
You know, in a DS9, we had a film noir episode where they just like shenanigans in like, I think it wasn't even that; it was time travel, right?
I don't remember.
I can't think right now. Yeah.
Well, there was an episode where Kira was like a femme fatale. I remember that for sure.
Was it on the Hollow Suites or something?
Yeah, it was either Jump Back in Time or a Hollow Suite. I'm not sure. So like film noir in Star Trek is not new.
I remember
but,
she was wearing a red dress. I just can't remember that episode. But yeah, I
see?
remember.
But this was a little different because they weren't playing around. It was like a serious thing.
Okay, yeah. This one seemed goofy. This episode where they get their silly costumes and like are bad actors while trying to trick, drug dealers or something. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know. I kind of thought it was funny. I liked it.
Like, are we able to talk? Am I going too far ahead? Can we talk about all
go
this
ahead.
stuff? Yeah, it's.
I mean, everything else happens on Free Cloud too, so we'll get there eventually. But go ahead, yeah.
But yeah, Picard is kind of a doofus. They put him in a silly eye patch and give him a goofy. It's kind of like, stop it! He's infiltrated galactic empires and outsmarted gods. Can we not make him be okay? Fine, we're gonna be silly. Let's just go with it.
But here's the thought I had that whole scene was like, dude, look how much fun Patrick Stewart's having.
True.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, that doesn't really have to do with the story. But I'm just looking, and I'm like that smile on his face is genuine. Like, he is having a blast doing that scene. You know.
And what's more important than that, right?
Well, it's Patrick Stewart. Yeah.
Well, no, I was being serious.
I see. There's two different scales to look at it. How much we care about the actors and how much we want to hear a great science fiction story.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, sorry. If Patrick Stewart wants to have a great time acting, he can produce his own stuff. Oh wait! He is producing this. Hold on.
How dare you?
What? You just missed the joke.
No, I know.
He can produce his own stuff. He is the producer.
I did not notice that.
Yeah, but you all know how I feel about this because I brought it up before.
Yeah.
It's fine if the actors are having fun, but don't create a story for the actors to have fun. You should create the story for the story.
Absolutely.
I read an interview with Jonathan Frakes. He's the director of this episode, and it's definitely, once again, that stuff that I was talking about. He's just like, man, Gene Roddenberry would have never let us do this.
So let's do it. Yay, piling around.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're just like, I remember interviews throughout time. They're just kind of like, we love that Star Trek because that's how that science fiction world looks. But as actors, they're like, we never get to actually act hard at each other. And now it's freaking holiday party time and on Free Cloud.
Yeah.
Hooker City.
I still think Free Cloud sounds like a cyber cafe. It doesn't.
Yeah,
it is a giant cyber cafe.
Yeah.
I hate the name personally.
I know. It just makes me think of like here, $2 per minute for Wi-Fi.
Yeah, considering the fact that we used the cloud in reference to, like what we use the cloud in reference to, it was a weird choice. Like, I think they just wanted it to sound sci-fi.
Yeah.
But,
and
it
not
was a
to
weird direction.
get all Bespin, but I did think it was going to be a Sky City.
Yeah,
that would have been cool.
me too. But I think that's just because Bespin is called the Cloud City, so we're like, Cloud, Free Cloud, Cloud City, Cloud.
Lando.
One thing I want to note because it's my first note on here, and it's jumping way ahead, but I want my theory points on this one.
Okay.
Where my first note is Agnes is going to kill Maddox. That's her mission. But I thought this was going to happen in episode 9. It just kind of like all these things started. I was like, aha! I know what she's going to do. Like by the time we find Maddox in episode 9, surprise, she's going to kill him. And then it was this episode. So
it was this episode? No, I'm just...
You did sure skip ahead there because that's the end of the episode.
Yeah,
Keith.
way to go,
but,
Keith.
I actually was going to say, towards the beginning of the episode, last week you said that, I think it was you, mentioned that there had already been theories out there that Agnes was going to do a deep dark thing. And I was like, I hope not, but, whatever. She's trying to protect a secret. I still feel that way, that she's trying to, like she clearly didn't want to do it. Like she's not evil. But it was funny because, again, I'm watching the show with my roommates. And one of them, about like 10 minutes in, goes, oh yeah, Agnes is gonna do something. It's too obvious. And he actually said it several times during the episode that he was like, all of the stuff is really heavy-handed in this episode. And I agree with him. I feel like a lot of the writing was very heavy-handed. It was like kind of leading us, but I mean, I know I've been complaining about this already, about them giving us too much information rather than showing us.
Yeah.
But he was like, oh, Agnes is gonna do something evil, and then the episode ended the way it did, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, one of my mental notes is like, I'm angry that you guys were right about that. Because like, no, not I'm also angry at it. Not my Agnes.
Did not expect it this episode at all, though. I was just like, we're gonna get like the first hints, or not. I didn't think we're gonna see much hints, but like, that was a later game thing. But in this episode, here we go.
But
see, that's exactly the complaint I had in episode 3.
Yeah.
About them being like, oh, this is going to be a mystery. JK, here's the answer in this episode. What were you saying, Jay?
I was going to say, I actually have to toot my own horn because 7 is essentially a different way of being a Maquis. A ranger?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
Like, I'm like, yes, I was right.
Fenris Ranger.
Okay, you get half a point for that.
Whatever. I'll take what I can get.
She's basically Maki. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Shut up. Okay. Let's get back into these notes. Okay, so after that scene on the piano bar in Free Cloud with just her... Oh, we haven't actually talked about it yet. The actual... What happens on the scene? We found Bruce Maddox. So how did you feel at that point? Just like... First of all, Bruce and Isha, both different actors, we've noticed.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought that with Maddox, they could have at least stuck to someone who had his kind of shape, because I recall him being like very straight, tall, angular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Maddox that they picked now is a lot more like mad scientist kind of looking.
Yeah.
And I know that's mostly the big beard, but yeah, I just hope that they would go with someone who's more like similar to him.
Yeah.
He definitely doesn't feel the same, because TNG Maddox is like, I know it's because he was the rival of Data in that episode, but he's like cold and
Clean cut.
assertive,
Yeah, exactly.
and
Yeah.
etc. And this guy seemed a lot more like kind of not paying
Jake.
attention to what was going on around him.
Mad
He's kind of
scientist.
Jake.
Yeah.
He's kind
More-
of Jake
yeah.
Skywalker.
Which Skywalker?
Jake Skywalker.
Oh,
That's what they call Last Jedi
yeah,
Skywalker.
yeah.
They Last Jedi'd him pretty fucking hard. He's raggedy. He is rough and tumble, and I don't know what happened to him in his life, but damn, he looks. It's not what I expected. I thought like he was gonna be like the wizard at the end of the story, where once we get to like too close to the end of the story, we get to his techno palace where he's doing weird stuff to push science, and then we'd find out more of the secrets of the universe. But instead, it's just like he's just like, yeah, let me have another drink. Oh my, I'm dying already. Like, whoa, man, what happened, dude?
yeah.
Well, who accepts a drink from like a hot evil lady? By the way, it's like,
This is in the future. They're supposed to know better.
that's true.
Yeah, but just in general, didn't he seem kind of like lackadaisy to you?
How so?
I just feel like he seemed like, I guess he's being beat up, so fair enough. But uncentered, like he wasn't totally sure what was going on around him, and I just recall somebody very like cunningly intelligent.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not the one that I was hoping we'd find at the end of this. Once we found him, and also didn't think that he'd have a relationship with Agnes. He looks like her grandfather. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm about to hit
yeah.
that. But even before we get there, I'm
Yeah.
just like, what was the purpose of Maddox in this story then? If you were going to be
Yeah.
like, oh, we got to go find him, we have to go to Free Cloud to find him, you go to Free Cloud, and then he just like dies immediately.
And
I'm
he's
like,
dead.
okay, well, that
Yeah.
didn't actually give us anything except give us an excuse to see Seven.
Yeah.
Which
could have done that on the way
is
to
not a
somewhere
bad
else.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they could have done that on the way to somewhere else.
Yeah.
So,
He's a
I
waste
guess-
of a great legacy character.
Yeah, I agree.
so it's an excuse for a different scene that happens later, so I'm not going to talk about it now. I'm sorry, I keep getting ahead of myself. Okay, let's get back on the ship. There's the scene with Jean-Luc Picard and 7 of 9. This is the scene, Michael, that you were waiting for from the preview. How do you feel about it?
I didn't know I was waiting for it, but no.
Oh, because you kept bringing it up. You were like, I thought that we would see her on Earth because he was in her
And the
he
chateau.
was in her
Yeah.
office in the chateau, but
Yeah.
this is the scene.
No, I thought. I mean, I liked seeing 7, of course, but I don't know. It seemed even the scene seemed a little forced to me, but I don't know. It's. I wanted their interaction to be a little different, I guess.
Agreed.
In which way?
Just I don't know, like more depth to it, I guess. I mean, it just seemed kind of superficial.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I do think, in all seriousness, that 7 of 9 has like some sort of Benjamin Button disease, because she gets like more attractive as the years go by. Sorry,
Jerry Ryan is amazing. Absolutely.
but no, I mean, the acting was okay. It was just I wanted more substance, I guess, to it.
Well, this is gonna
Yeah.
this is gonna jump ahead, but because toward the end they had that little like humanity talk, which we can get to later. But
Yeah.
even with this scene and that scene, I still wanted more as well. Like I wanted them to, and well, I guess I wanted them to have an old Star Trek kind of interaction in the sense that I wanted it to be a little deeper. I wanted to hear a little more about Locutus and 7, and You know what I mean? Like I was hoping that they would have more of a connection and more like more time to get deeper. But I will say with that scene, just because you all know me and I enjoy my whiskey, so when she was like whiskey straight, and I'm like, yes,
Well,
that's my girl.
As much as I love the fan service, as you guys know, it just felt like, well, did they just put her in there just to get us to watch? You know, like people to interested, and they're just kind of like, They could have done so much more with that character.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
guess
the
like
problem
her
with.
edition. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's the problem with 10-episode seasons is they try to cram all the stuff in, and that you don't get any depth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keith?
Yeah, her edition didn't unfold any more of the world and story. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
She showed up and we got to have like maybe kind of like a mini-sode for her to do only surface level like stuff that we wanted to see from her and Picard together. Like I wanted to see what does happen. Like these are two epic heroes that have seen the galaxy itself and crossed the threshold of humanity. What are they gonna say to each other? And then instead they're just like, yeah, I was a Borg too. I don't feel whole. Me neither.
Yeah.
All right. See you later, dude.
Yeah.
And I just thought how awesome it would be to have her like fighting some, not like maybe the big baddie, but like one of the guys at the end, and she's like, resistance is futile, and she just shoots him in the head or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would have loved if she like even called him by Locutus and was just like,
oh, that would have been cool.
Whoa,
Yeah.
Locutus, like, you know what I'm saying? Because the collective is
and he's like
joined.
triggered.
Even when she was in the Delta Quadrant, she had to have been aware of
And since she
Locutus.
still goes by 7, you
Yeah.
know, she might not think of it as being terrible to use the name Locutus.
Yeah.
But maybe she knows he doesn't use it.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, just having that like, whoa, you know, like, whoa, you were Locutus, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, damn,
I
Jay, that
was-
would have been cool.
oh man, like there's so much.
I'm okay
more
with
that
her
could've
not
been
being
done.
like amazed by him being a Locutus because Borg, but
Well, yeah, of course, but
Not
I see what you
amazed, but
mean.
like
Yeah.
they have like a kinship that like we've never seen explored. So like while he was Locutus, maybe their minds did touch and like you know they knew each
Yeah,
other
yeah.
on that level. And then like when they
I
meet
mean,
Picard,
everyone's
like,
mind's touched. That's the point of
Yeah.
the collective.
exactly, that's what
So
I
when
mean.
they meet,
yeah.
they're like 7 Locutus.
Yeah.
I've certainly seen
Yeah,
some
like a little jab
complaints
at each other.
about Seven and Picard behaving like they know each other, and my answer to that is yeah. I mean, they were in
Yeah.
the same collective. That's the whole point of the collective, that all minds are one.
Yeah.
So I'm not necessarily concerned with that, but yeah, like I agree with all of you. It did feel very shallow. The talk that you mentioned, Jay, where she's like, "Do you feel like after you left the collective, you always ever regained your humanity?" No, I don't. Yeah, me neither.
See you
But
later.
Well, that's like the first we've heard of that.
Yeah.
It's like that's the closest they got to actually talking about it,
Yeah.
but also since feeling human was kind of like her entire thing in
Yeah.
Voyager, I'm like,
Yeah.
did you just get rid of?
Yeah. Well, and
I don't know.
yeah.
I mean, I guess it's a thing that will linger forever.
Yeah.
So fine, but why bring it up if you're not gonna touch on it
Yeah.
again?
Well,
aside from just being like, NPS, they were both Borg. Ha.
Yeah, and they were,
Yeah.
you know, the whole like, oh, we work on it every day, don't we, or something like that. Like, of
Yeah.
course, you know, but so does
think I
so
read
does
that.
everyone. I mean, that weren't
Yeah.
Borg. Like, we all do that.
Yeah, you're doing that. I'm doing that. I,
I
hope
work
Keith
on
and
being
Michael are
Borg
also
more and
doing
more
that.
every day. So.
Oh God, wouldn't that
I'm
be
being
cool?
We wanted more than an extended cameo, but we got an extended cameo. That was what that's what we saw.
Yeah.
I thought
How do
the
you feel?
conversations, I thought the conversations would be the next step in like the android synth war thing,
Yeah.
where she should
But
have a
it-
big part of that.
It wasn't.
Yep.
Well, she might not be gone for the whole. We don't know what's gonna happen, so
Yeah, she'll
true.
probably reappear.
yeah, that's
I
kind of
don't-
what
I don't think that-
She'll be
I
back for
don't
a
think
last
that
minute
was
save.
the end.
we'll see.
Yeah.
Until Picard, he
Except-
owes her another ship.
Yeah.
Right.
You owe me 6 ships now. Wait, what?
Dang it, Picard!
Okay, so how does everybody feel about the vigilante thing? No vigilantes. Oh, but Picard, I will be a vigilante. 7 of 9 being a vigilante ranger Maquis thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'd kind of like to see a Fenris Rangers show with 7 on it. That'd be kind of cool.
Ooh, that would
I
be
mean,
cool.
I would watch anything Jerry Ryan's in, but especially that.
Yeah.
I would not be shocked if they were planning that spin-off, to be frank.
Yeah,
That'd
to be
be
honest
awesome.
with you.
Because
yeah.
I mean they dropped this like the Rangers thing on us and made it sound like it was a really big thing and we've never seen it before. So that sounds like a good setup for spin-off.
And plus,
But-
she kicks ass, too.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
of course, I mean
Yeah. Well, and let's be honest. I talked about this previously. If they had Star Trek on all year, we would all pay for CBS on All Access
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I pay.
I think plenty of people have said that.
I pay Picard's on, Discovery's on, but that's it. I mean, if they had a show or shows on all year, I would pay yearly and be like, yes,
Well, I think that's what they're
take
gonna
my
do.
money.
Yeah, I think that's their plan.
That's what they're trying to do, at least.
So if they made a
That's why they're
7,
developing so many series.
If they made a 7 show and a Ranger show, I would be all in.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
so we just gotta wait till the Picard season ends, because when the Discovery season 2 ended, they were like, okay, now we're starting to work on a section 31 show, so we just gotta wait for Picard season to end, and then they'll be like, we're working on a Rangers show.
Yes.
They're doing this
That'd be
also so
awesome.
that their production doesn't get shut down, because like now that they remerged the companies, they can go back to making normal Star Trek. But if they keep on having money in the pipeline tied up like this, then they have to keep doing this kind of Star Trek. So that's why we're seeing so
I
much.
do love that they have the ability to merge TV and movies again. That's very exciting.
Yep. So you're gonna start seeing a winding down of these kind of shows. Like we probably won't get we won't get a Fenris Rangers thing, because they're trying to close this stuff up so they can go back to normal Star Trek. But I was thinking with the Rangers.
know about that.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree. Yeah. We'll see.
Well, you'll see. You'll see.
All right.
We'll see, and you'll get 1,000 of those points, Keith, if that turns out to be true. 'Cause that's estimating real life here.
That's 2 to 3 years from now. But
2 to 3 years from
when it comes
now.
to the show, the Rangers, I like the idea. I really wish this wasn't Star Trek. I want them to make their own kick-ass like space western thing that does have wild Rangers that have kick-ass like signature jackets and stuff. And
Yeah.
I
Don't
love
worry.
the idea. They're just like,
Once this Picard season is over, we're gonna have one of those like, does this feel like Star Trek or not? Why or why not? Kind of conversations.
Yeah.
Because I think those are very interesting. Obviously, we all see Star Trek differently, expect different things, and I'm very interested in, and even talking about other series. Like, if I made a Firefly fan film, how would you be able to tell that it was the Firefly universe or the Star Wars universe or the so don't worry, I have plans to talk about that. You guys can start writing your notes now if you want, but I'm definitely gonna pick
Sounds
your
good.
brains.
Nice.
Here's the thing that bothered me about that conversation is like, I don't remember if she said it outright or if it was just in the Vigilantes conversation, but there was kind of a talk about what do you do when the cause is lost? The only thing you can do is keep fighting. She said something like that. And in regards to this episode being really heavy on the themes, I'm a little upset that they're repeating themes like that throughout various characters. Like, Seven is a person who's like, oh, I have to do a thing even though it's a lost cause. I have to do the best that I can. And also another character, and also a Romulan boy, and also, like, why do we only need to repeat the lost causes theme? Are you saying that our world is a lost cause, but we should keep fighting for it? Because I disagree. I think that's a little too negative. And again, I'm looking. I know. I should stop, but I want Star Trek to inspire me towards a better future. That's literally all I want from it. Okay.
No, you're right.
amen.
Yeah.
And instead we have Rafi, who is apparently a recovering drug addict, too.
Oh, I got something weird to say about Rafi also, but we'll get to that scene with her son later. Speaking of Rafi and Rios had a very short scene where they were just talking about how famous and cool Jerry Ryan was, the ex-Borg famous ranger from the Delta Quadrant. And did that to anybody else just feel like they were like, she is famous, so you can understand the next thing that is happening, but also, hey, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Because that's how it felt like to me.
I like that they tried. I mean, like, they didn't have to go... I mean, I like that they brought up that there's a difference between a Delta Quadrant Borg or person than, Alpha Quadrant and Beta. So, it's not... if they didn't know Star Trek, they wouldn't have brought that up at all. So, it's kind of like, yeah, you guys are trying, and I appreciate it. And it's just... Yeah, it's hard to get over how too special maybe they're making her.
Yeah, she feels like a mythological figure to them. They're just like, oh my god, she's so amazing. And I feel like that's because fandom loves her.
Yeah.
They've like kind of picked the fandom favorites and then put them in this show rather than developing on the story that they're trying to
And the world is
tell.
aware of the fandom favorites versus like just how they would work in that world.
Right, and I'm concerned about 7 of 9 appearing and doing the Borg thing, and then like not even being involved in the Borg storyline. But again, I think she'll pop back up.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Jay or Michael, did you have anything to say about anything more to say about that?
No.
No? Jay?
I did, but I forgot it.
Okay. Well, we're on the Agnes scene now.
Okay.
So, here's the note I made.
Agnes scene?
Here's the note. Yeah, the Agnes watching the vid scene.
Oh, okay.
Here's my note. No. Don't kiss Maddox. No.
Yeah, I was like,
oh
oh,
my
that's gross.
god.
But also, is she secretly an android?
Ah, I wrote that down. Sorry.
Yes.
Oh.
I got a little excited there. No, I got like some kind of weird vibe. I don't know what it was. I was like, I think she could be like an android that he created, which that's even more gross.
Yeah.
but-
That's the vibe I got too. That Maddox had created her and kind of like. But here's the thing: there's the TOS like episode like that. The What Little Girls Are Made Of, where Chapel goes to try to find her fiance, and when she finds him, he's living and he's with a girl that he created as an android. I mentioned it in episode 1 because I was like, actually, we have seen androids before, but I understand why they wouldn't know about it because, like, I don't think Kirk ever said it. But yeah, that's totally the vibe that I got. That Maddox, like the guy in TOS, was like, I want a girlfriend, and I'm an android specialist, so I'm just gonna make an android girlfriend.
See,
So
Sabrina,
yeah, Michael, I had the same.
I knew you and I were always on the same page from the beginning.
Yep, definitely, always.
I didn't catch that whatsoever. And now that you're saying it, it is definitely on the table now.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I don't know what it was.
oh.
Just something clicked. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, all right? We talk about him being not the same Maddox, right? We talk about him being kind of broken and being kind of like a mad scientist, right?
Frazzled.
Yeah, well, think about it. That goes hand in hand with being antisocial and not being around humans or not being good around humans, right? Like, the weirder you get or the more mad scientist-y you get, the more introverted you get, right?
So you're
what's he
saying that
gonna
Maddox
do?
is Ronnie McKay?
What's that?
So you're saying that Maddox is Ronnie McKay? Make himself a girlfriend. Yeah.
What I'm saying though is he created
He'll make himself somebody to interact with.
exactly or people, you know, like Daj, Soji, Agnes. You see what I'm saying? Like he maybe that's
A lot of daughters, some which he makes out with.
yeah, which is you know. But I don't know. It
Well,
kind of goes
you
hand in
know-
hand with the way he's acting, you know.
Yeah, I feel a little weird about it though, because like kind of regardless of whether she's an android or not, they put it in that scene so that we would feel bad for her in the last scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But seriously, I'm so done with relationships between like women who look 25 and men who look 50. Can we please do less of that?
right.
Yeah.
I
yes,
know.
please.
I know.
It's like at least make
But
her
they
30.
were in
shit.
love. They were in love, though.
Let me throw up in my mouth. I'll be right back.
My
Okay,
notes,
okay, that's
my
it.
note
We're not
is,
talking about that.
all right,
We're not
next
talking about
subject.
that
My
I'm
note
sorry,
says
Keith, what
that
were you
is
saying?
not fully natural looking. That's my note on that scene is this is not fully natural looking. Is my note.
My note was just
Anyway.
gross.
No offense to that actor.
No,
'cause
no,
I'm
no.
sure you're a great guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, but damn, they did not need to do that at all.
Yeah.
They could have been respective colleagues and like actually had like love like that. They didn't
Yeah,
have to
good
go there,
friends.
but-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was hoping for, like a tutor-student relationship.
Like
Oh,
I
it
love
was a
I love you guys.
tutor-student relationship.
I love you guys, but I don't want to kiss any of you.
Very funny. Yeah, romantic love is not required. Why do people think that you will only be sad killing somebody that you love romantically?
Yeah.
I will also be sad killing someone that I love fraternally.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Love is not just
Whatever.
romantic. Love is love.
Yes.
I know.
Thank you. And I mean, I'm extra upset because they showed that with Picard and his relationship with Romulan boy. Man, I'm terrible with names. They showed that with Picard and his relationship with his servants, even if I wish that particular one was romantic.
Oh yeah.
With like parental love, sibling love, like they've already put them in the thing.
Yeah.
So why did they have to make that one really? Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Surprise twist, right? Guys?
No, not really.
Yeah, that was my least favorite surprise twist of all.
Of all time.
Yeah.
Please don't kiss Maddox. Please.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know.
Okay. Let's forget it. The next scene was a lot cuter. It was just like a little world building thing. It wasn't necessary per se, except. All right, let me actually bring up the scene. So, they're approaching Free Cloud. Free Cloud has a bunch of pop-ups, Everybody gets a pop-up, except for our poor Romulan boy, because
Elnor.
sweet thing, Elnor does not have any social media, so there's no data to mine to give him an advertisement, and he's just like, oh, I didn't get one. It was a cute scene, but the reason I bring it up is, while we're talking about heavy-handed foreshadowing, Agnes gets a punching robot, and she's like, I don't want to, and they're like, you have to punch its head off, and then she does, and I was like, that was the moment for me. I was like, oh, you're right, yeah.
Yeah, pop-up ads was dumb. I apologize for being too cynical and mean to the scene, but it's just like it feels like Star Trek is getting too goofy, and like it doesn't match like the lighting of the spaceship and the opening scene of horror, and now we have silly pop-up ads that look out like they're out of like a, I don't know, like that. It feels like what we saw in the Firefly movie. The silly ads that they got there.
Yeah.
Serenity, yeah. Yeah, it was a little much.
Yeah, there's a lot of tone switching.
Yeah.
And Star Trek does tone switch, but usually not in the same episode.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, old Star Trek is episodic, so episodic tone switch makes a lot more sense to me.
Yeah.
Again, it's
but I think they're trying to stop it from being like just nothing but depressing.
Yeah.
Like you need moments of levity. So I think it was okay in that case. My only concern was that it was just like all of the pop-up ads were different foreshadowing things.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's a little on the nose for me.
Wait, the other ones foreshadowed something, you think?
Well,
Rafi's did.
is
Absolutely.
Rafi's is the snake den, so it's all like, haha, you can't come here because you have a drug problem and it's causing problems for you.
Okay.
So yeah, so they were pretty on the nose. Picard's was just like, let's have a tea drinking party. So it was
Learn
him
how to
going
make
down
tea.
to him going down to Free Cloud, to the bar in Free Cloud. I don't remember what Rios got, and then of course Elnor has
nothing because he's so sweet and adorable and innocent.
Elnor is sweet and adorable and innocent in this. But I'm concerned that in that whole episode he was just used as comedic fodder.
Well, you gotta admit it was funny when he was like, are we still pretending?
I enjoyed that a little bit.
Yeah, I liked it.
I liked it initially, and then I was like, y'all, that is the least subtle writing I've ever heard. Are we done pretending? Yes, we are done now. All of us, even 7 of 9 is done. Okay.
Yeah. It's funny. He's so adorable.
You may be
but
able
he cuts
to tell
people's heads off, but he's so adorable.
Yeah. I mean, he was brought up to be an assassin, so
yeah.
I'm okay with him not really understanding like social cues there. But I'm sure you guys can tell I'm not super impressed with this episode.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Same, but I'm starting to find that there's value and fun and bad, what I consider bad writing in fiction. Like if it's bad, then it makes you reflect on like what you like most in fiction, and
yeah, but I already know my answer to that, you know.
It creates more conversation.
Yeah, I'm always happy to have more conversation. Let's converse. How do you feel about Rios's like literal pimp suit?
I thought it was awesome.
Dude, that green fabric was dope, but one of my friends watching it was like, what was that orange hat? You lost me at the orange hat.
What was it? No, you need a feather.
Yeah. You need a feather. Yeah. I do really appreciate that they're using fabrics to make it more like sci-fi, like that. Again, that green fabric I'm in love with. Like, I love it. And it reminds me a little of, like, Quark's awesome clothes. But then, like, they went for a super stereotypical, like, 1980s Earth, like, pimp look. I feel weird about it.
A little goofy on my, I like it's really hard to let go that this is the tone they're going for. So on that scale, is it cool? And I guess it's just like not. It's too on the nose of how silly
I think
getting.
The reason why I found it strange was because it brought to mind like the jaunty, shenanigansy holodeck episodes of TNG, but then the thing itself was like a completely serious, like they were doing a jaunty, jokey heist for a completely serious reason, and the stakes didn't match for me. Like it felt like Picard was fucking around when somebody's life was on the line, and that doesn't make sense to me.
So did you guys hear the Quark name drop in the episode? Speaking of Quark,
No.
yeah. So there was what was it? Hold on, I gotta look it up. I see. I should have taken notes because I wanted to bring this up. So I'm glad you brought up Quark. Our favorite Ferengi served as reference for Rios prior to his caper on Stardust City, thanks to whatever Rios did for Quark involving the brain. Given several bars. I think.
Oh, Rios name drop.
Yeah. There was something like that, but it was something about Quark, and I was like, "Ooh, Quark's still around." I gotta I want to rewatch the episode to remember specifically, but I remember mental note of oh, they brought up Quark.
Nice.
I appreciate it, and it's cool they brought it up in context of the Star Trek Underworld. But yeah, I didn't notice it when it happened. I saw a Easter egg video, and they mentioned it there, and it's awesome. I wish you guys do a little something with that. But all right, he's gone.
But at the same time, if they did something with that, would we be like, this is unnecessary?
yeah.
I don't know. At some point, it's you love certain characters so much that you're like, please just show up, just give me a little snippet, give me a video, give me a little communique with them. I mean, because it's Quark. I want to see Quark.
Just have Quark pop up and be like, you're not allowed to board the DS9, and they're like, what? You're not in charge of that. Get off the line.
Who is this prank caller?
I know. Here, can I interest you in some blah blah blah?
I would have liked to see maybe the hint of an extension of the organization that he would have built by now, and then as a
is he Grand Nagus maybe? Huh?
Yeah, something like that. And then should we kill him? And then you just see him briefly on screen. Yeah, kill him, and then he's gone. And you're like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
And I mean, come on, that actor's amazing. So I'd love to see him.
He is.
Yeah, no doubt. That Beta and Ari was interesting. I found it a shame that they were like, he can smell a lie, and then have that moment that was stressful, and then just, haha, JK, we gave him beta blockers, no worries.
Yeah.
We
Wow,
have.
okay.
Yeah, it's what was the point of
We
that?
have lie pills.
Yeah,
Don't
lie
worry.
pills.
Well, here's the thing about it. They wanted to create tension. I get it. But if the character had already gotten his beta blockers, there's no reason for him to be tense.
Yeah.
So.
Except they didn't kick in until right at that moment, right?
Not to mention,
Is that
Rios
how
is a
Pheromone blockers
seasoned.
I don't know.
He's a seasoned captain. He's worldly. He shouldn't be. If the way he's acting is this is his first time doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's ex-Starfleet Han Solo, so.
Yeah.
Doesn't flinch when he has shrapnel in his shoulder, but when he talks to an alien, even though he has lie pills, I'm dogging on it. I'm sorry. I guess I'm finding out more and more.
So am I.
I didn't like it, and what are you guys doing to Star Trek? And I'm trying to get on board. I'm trying, but what are you guys doing?
Yeah, it's. I feel it's going in the wrong direction.
Well, we still got 5.
And saying that Picard is killing
We've
it.
got 5 more episodes. Let's.
I literally have. Yeah.
Cool.
I literally have a note that
about
says, "What's up with discount Legolas writing?" Because a lot of Elnor's bits just reminded me of Legolas being like, "I don't get humans. What is death?" And especially because he has the long hair and the ears and the sword, I'm just like, what is this Lord of the Rings doing in my Star Trek?
But he was raised among normal people, so he shouldn't be this out of touch. But I see where you're going with this, the out of touch swordsman, which.
Yeah,
normally in
I understand him not having social media, not understanding why he's not getting an ad, but for a place that's pure candor, okay, fine, that's why he doesn't understand subterfuge, but he's behaving like he's still that 7-year-old boy. Did he not experience anything between being 7 and being 23 or whatever he is now?
Apparently not. They
Jay Michael, do you want to defend?
I don't have any way to defend that.
I don't either.
Yeah, let's be honest.
Oh no, this is not good. You guys, you're supposed to be our positive influence.
But
I mean,
he's
I
so
loved every
adorable.
minute of it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that struck me as like gasp. First of all, y'all remember last week I was talking about in improv calling the game?
Yeah.
Picard's French accent here. You know, because it's been a discussion among fans for years and years and years why he has a British accent. If he's a French guy, he spoke French last episode, and then they're like, haha, now it was a joke. I will make a bad French accent. And, like you said, Stewart was clearly having fun, but I'm just like, is this the decision Picard would make? Just make fun of his own? Alright. I mean, alright. Have fun. Have a good time.
My mind goes
But it was
to
very
when
goofy.
he was dressed as a Romulan and working with Spock, and like, you know, he could keep his shit together while he's being a spy, and now he's like, blah 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 blah, I'm wacky
But
Picard. Like,
to be positive about it, I feel like there was a bit where his accent and French and German accents are very similar, but there was a bit where it sounded to me like he slipped into German, and I feel like it actually makes sense to me for Picard to just be real bad at doing accents. Like it's not a skill he has, so I'm actually okay with that. I wish that he had picked not a French accent, because that just because the French bad guy thing doesn't match very well with the fact that Picard is actually French. But Picard being bad at accents, I thought was a great reference.
Well,
did
the
you?
way I looked at
yeah, I thought it was German. Because he's got an eye patch and he's being like Nazi evil, so I thought that's what he's going for.
Gotcha.
the way I was just like, dude, Rios is in a pimp suit. Picard, do what you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
don't remember what the heck was Elnor dressed in.
he was just dressed in his stuff. I mean, he's like, are we
Didn't
still
even try.
pretending?
Guy
I
jacket.
mean, he's, you know.
Wearing a members only jacket.
Oh, too funny.
Okay, before we get into the depressing parts of Free Cloud, let's talk about Rafi's scene with her son, shall we?
More
wait.
drama.
Wait, I'm not there yet. Hold on. There's a scene before that when Rafi leaves the ship, and she has this goodbye with Picard. I'm gonna start you guys on that one because I have things to say about it. Jay, how'd you feel about that scene? The goodbye between Rafi and Picard.
You know, I kind of knew it wasn't goodbye. You know what I'm saying? Like the way that they've been leading up to things and just how broken
Like
she is.
it was pretty clear Rafi wasn't gonna stay on Free Cloud.
Yeah. So it was like, I hate to say it, but I didn't really put too much weight on it because I'm like, no, we'll see her.
No, that's fair. Michael?
I feel exactly the same way. Yeah, I mean, it's you knew she was going to come back, so it's kind of like why even put that scene in there? But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Keith?
I was also kind of like, wait, what? She's leaving? I thought she's just stopping here.
Well, she said
Wait,
she
we're
was only
pretending
going
she's-
with him as far as Free Cloud at first.
Okay. Yeah, I guess the feeling of the show always made it seem like that wasn't going to happen. So I think I forgot that she said she was actually going to just leave at that point.
Yeah.
So even while she's saying, I'm just like, all right, let's go with this. What's going to happen here? Maybe she'll find something story important here that will further us along. And instead, we got forced drama.
Yeah. Here's what annoyed me about it. In the second episode, we see like 14 years ago, she loses her job because of him, and then he finds her again at Ayers Rock 14 years later, and she's like, "You haven't seen me in 14 years. You've just been ignoring me. What the heck? I don't trust you at all. The only reason I'm boarding the ship that you're boarding is because I want to go to Free Cloud." And then by the time they get to Free Cloud, she's like, "Oh, I love you so much." Like they've totally returned to their relationship before that 14-year gap. She's totally forgiven him. What? You made a huge deal about the fact that she didn't trust him yet, and then just it's gone now because they had a couple of bits of interaction. Like, why did you even build that resentment into the show if you're just gonna totally ignore it?
I don't.
When did she forgive him?
I don't know. So I don't think. Okay, I'm gonna go into defense mode real quick.
Yeah, no problem.
I don't
Please.
think that she's necessarily forgiven him, but I think that deep down she knows that he's a good man and that he is pretty much always trying to do the right thing. So if he's doing something or trying to do something, it's probably for the right reasons. Also, I think that she still has that respect for him, for who he is, because he does always try to do the right thing. And this mission. So the way I look at it, and it ties into the scene with her son, because if Picard and her and everyone succeed in this, she'll be able to go, see, I told you so. There was something else going on. I wasn't just making this up. I wasn't crazy.
Yeah.
You guys thought I was making this up, but see, I was right. So I think that there's...
Fuck you guys.
What's that?
She's like, fuck
Yeah,
you
pretty
guys.
much, yeah. But I think that there's more to it than just her forgiving him. I think that she's not forgiven him, but she is starting to understand how broken he is too, and also how he's always in it for the right reasons. So how can you be
And
mad?
blaming himself when it doesn't go
how
well.
can you be mad about someone trying to do good for the universe? You know what I'm saying? So I think you got to
Well,
look.
I mean, she was mad at him in the first place.
Yeah.
So.
I think you've got to look a little
well
deeper.
said, Jay.
You got to look a little deeper than just what's on the surface.
Hey, are you implying that I don't do that?
No.
All
No.
the time.
No.
No, but I do know that you get your opinions, and they're very strong. And sometimes
Yeah.
it takes a little more to look a little deeper than your initial, anger.
I feel like they just created her at first to be very much like she cares more about her own, like what has happened to her rather than him. Because the first time they meet, she was just very much like, I don't give a shit what you've gone through because you didn't give a shit about what I went through.
Yeah.
So I felt like, I guess, they're trying to build her to be less selfish
Yeah.
now, which would lead to the next scene.
And
So you started us on it,
Yes.
Jay. So how did you feel about the scene between her and her son?
so that scene,
Gabriel.
this is going to be a little personal, but I come from a family where I relate to her son. So my background is one of, families with addiction issues. So her addiction issues and her son's issues and stuff actually hit home for me quite a bit. I understand the anger from him. I understand the just the pure kind of hatred and the pure no, like you left, you chose this, you chose, you know what I'm saying? So that scene, even though it was a little forced and a little bit, it almost felt, just because I don't want to say bad acting, but as someone who comes from that kind of background, it didn't quite hit it right. You know what I'm saying? Because it was acted. It was a scene that was written.
There's a lot of conflict in relationships like that, whereas he didn't feel conflicted. He was just pure
Well, and that's just it.
out.
Because as someone who comes from that background, you think oh man, if my parent was as a child, you always want to give your parents the benefit of the doubt, and you always want to be there for them. I mean, that's at least how I've felt my whole life. So,
Yeah, of course.
it's one of those things where I didn't agree necessarily. I understood the anger, but I didn't agree with him completely cutting her off, because that's your mom, dude. Your family's family. I don't care how bad my family messes up. If they need me, I'm there. If they truly need me, and if it's for the right reasons, if they're trying and they're putting in the effort and willing to do the work, not just expecting someone to enable them, then I'm there. So it's one of those things where it hit home, but it also wasn't quite right from my experience coming from her son's perspective. Right? But it was still, I understood the scene, and it was a scene that was needed in order to get her to go stow away on the ship and become part of the crew. So, it was one of those things where it was a little forced. It pushed the story forward. This all kind of circles back to the issue with 10 episode seasons. They're trying to force everything.
Yeah.
And that's where
they have to convince us of relationships and past flaws and stuff really fast.
And that's where the disconnects happen, unfortunately, because they don't have time to really hone things in.
Yeah, I'm just concerned that every single scene we've talked about that's emotional, we're all like, yeah, that felt fake.
Yeah.
Or pushed or forced or whatever.
And I think that actually explains why I don't care for Raffi's broken addict character very much, because I've known addicts my whole life. So it's one of those things where I'm like, she's not playing that quite right, which is fine, because that means that she's probably never really been an addict. You know what I'm saying? So that's good.
I'm happy for her.
But at the same time, it's like, wait a minute, it doesn't quite feel sincere, if that makes sense.
Well, Jay, you were talking about if they're willing to do the work. I agree with that. But if not, then I think you have to, take care of yourself and cut those toxic people out of your life.
Which I've done actually. So I've
Okay,
done that.
Yeah.
I have a family member who is a homeless heroin addict, and I don't talk to that person, and that person's not allowed near my family. So there are, but there are also people. I have multiple family members with issues. It's been a thing for a lot of my family on both sides. So it's one of those things where I have been on both sides. I've had a parent that has made it past it, and I've helped, and then I have a sibling who has not made it past, and who I'm not helping, who I don't interact with. So yeah, absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Maybe Gabriel feels that Rafi hasn't proved that she's trying yet, and that's why he's still rejecting her entirely.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And gives her an emotional character arc so that she has a thing to fight
Correct.
for.
Yeah, you want to talk about how you feel about that scene, Keith?
I guess I hate that this is what they chose to write for her. I just she was a former Starfleet first officer under Picard, and this is what we're going to go with. The height of her life is trying to get back to his son. That it's a little too rough and rushed for my liking. That this is what we're going to do with her character. She's a drug addict. Oh, all right. You can choose anything you want. We're doing this. All right. And then the last heartstring of, and he has a kid on the way, and you don't get to be part of it. You showed up just in time to see this. You suck.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, all right, fine. And yeah.
I do feel a concern that, like you said, they labeled her addict. Her storyline is dealing with recovering from addiction, but they're doing the oh look, it broke her relationship with her son part of recovering from addiction, and not the difficulty of, recovering from the actual chemical addiction.
Mm-hmm.
She's still addicted. She was just using it until very recently. That has an effect on you mentally and physically, and to do the heart-wrenching bits of broken relationships without even touching on that feels underwhelming.
Yeah,
I guess. So yeah, I'm with you, Jay. Definitely. I'm not sure they researched that enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like even with Tasha, her, where Tasha Yar grew up had a huge effect on her behavior constantly. I know that's a childhood abuse rather than a past addiction, but yeah.
Well, it's still trauma. Trauma is trauma. You know what I'm saying? Trauma can be chemical, can be physical, can be mental,
emotional.
Oh yeah, trauma is trauma.
Michael?
Oh, I feel exactly the same way you guys did. It just felt kind of superficial, and kind of forced and rushed. But again, that's what we've been saying with the 10 episodes. You can't really, develop the characters as well. So that's.
Well, they decided to make the season 10 episodes, so that's their own.
Yeah. It's their own fault.
That's their own thing. My frustration with it is that Rafi doesn't seem to realize that the way her son is behaving towards her is exactly the same as the way she behaved towards Picard when he showed up at our house.
Oh yeah.
I think Jay, you pretty much said everything that needed to be said about that scene. But let me point out something that I found interesting. Her son's name is Gabriel. Did you catch what her full name is?
No.
He says
Raphael?
Yeah, it's Raphael.
Oh.
So we've got some Christian Angel references there in that family.
I didn't even
Raphael
think of that.
Gabriel.
Okay. Interesting.
And then her yelling, "There's a conspiracy!" When her son's Romulan girlfriend / wife is pregnant, right next to him. All right. A little awkward, but that was definitely the writers being hey, by the way, don't forget there's totally a conspiracy, and Rafi knows about it, and just don't forget this is also what's destroying her relationship. I mean, there's the abuse, but also because the drug abuse, but also she believes in the conspiracy.
Well, and actually digging in that as well. So Picard's fighting, his whole thing was like, no, they're lives, not just Romulan lives, they're lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then her son is married and having a child with a Romulan. So it makes you wonder, like, who in Starfleet or who in like Earth's, humanity
isn't treating them
exactly.
Like that.
Is it just a Starfleet kind of like Romulans, or is this? You see what I'm saying? Like, there's.
Yeah,
it was just a little weird because I'm like, well, like they kind of make a thing.
Like, are Romulans mistreated or
exactly?
Aren't they?
Like, are Romulans being like treated racistly, or are they not? Yeah.
Well,
they are on that one planet, but not on the planet, not in Freecloud. No, but actually it makes sense that Romulans would be like kind of whatever in Freecloud, because Freecloud is the like criminal city.
Yeah.
So I doubt they care
Okay.
about people's race.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Freecloud. I mean, I understand. It just is one of those things where, is it a human thing or is it just an Earth thing? And why is that even a thing when you're supposed to be in this utopia of non-racism?
Is it completely a Federation thing, or is it just a Starfleet
Exactly.
thing? And I mean, yeah, the utopia's gone.
Yeah,
Let's,
I know. Makes me sad. We've been over that. I'm sorry.
All right.
it'll be okay.
So, are we still?
I'm cool with space racism. Space racism, I'm cool with that, because they still do that. Like in all Star Trek, you don't trust Romulan, just like in fantasy, you don't trust elves and stuff.
Just like in DS9, you don't
stuff.
trust those Cardis.
Or the Hirogen,
Definitely
or
not Cardis. Ugh.
Okay. Let me just off topic for a second.
Kazon. I was thinking of Kazon. Sorry, you're right.
He's
I mean,
so ratchet.
the Kazon are like, yeah. Yep, you said it.
Broke ass.
And then TOS,
I
I
just
just
wanna-
I get it.
Broke ass Klingons. There you go.
I just want to support Miles for a sec. Okay, Miles O'Brien, a lot of people give him shit for being a space racist, but there should be allowances made for the fact that Cardassians are literally Nazis.
yeah.
Like,
They are the worst.
he's not
Cardassians.
saying fuck that race, he's saying punch Nazis.
So wait, are there 4 hosts or are there not 4 hosts? Just kidding.
Tell me, how many hosts do you see?
There are 4
Hosts.
hosts.
Sorry.
Horse.
Yeah, you can't bring up Cardassians and not bring up their
Horsts.
4 lights. I mean, come on.
There are 4 lights.
Thank you for
Listen,
that, Jay.
okay. So
Welcome.
Freecloud,
Thought you'd like
the
that.
piano bar. Finally, Seven meets
The
whatever,
JJ.
Yeah.
Bajazel.
They did that on
I
purpose.
can't say that without
There's
laughing.
no way they didn't know that was going to happen.
Seriously,
There's no way.
my first note for that scene is, she's so hot for Seven's body. Wait, what the fuck? Don't call her Annika. Okay,
I wanna see that
her and
backstory.
Seven were
so yeah, seems gay, right? Seems gay.
yes, but what makes you wonder is like, at what point would they want to be together? Like, it seems like this woman I didn't see much of Vajazzle's life beyond being a torturing killer person. I
Bork hunter,
don't see like, yeah, like at what point was she a good enough person that Seven would want to be with her? Yeah,
Yeah.
was also
Yeah.
forced.
I think when she saw her in that outfit initially back in the day, that's probably what did it.
Okay, that one got me. That one got me. Like, oh, maybe you're not so bad. You know,
You're killing my
people
family, but
change.
it's okay.
people change.
Right.
Skin suits.
Yeah. I'm all for people changing, but for 7 of 9 to date a villain,
Yeah, I mean that hard of a villain too. She's the monster.
But is she really,
Yeah.
Keith? Really?
Well, I know sometimes she seems kind of like. Oh, no, wait, stop it.
Wait, hold on. She kidnapped her girlfriend's son to tear out his insides without even using anesthetic. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say she was evil back then. I'm a little like, I feel like somebody's gonna argue that she wanted 7 and then she just like pretended that they were in a romantic relationship or like a friendship relationship. They don't find it if they don't read the subtext the way that I do, and that it's just like she tricked 7 the whole time. But
Maybe,
is 7 that easy to trick, you
I was
guys?
gonna say she
No.
seems smarter than that.
Yeah, I know.
If you're that kind of person that can go that
So-
far, you don't see it. Yeah, that was.
So yeah, so it
once
must
again,
have been a real relationship,
Yeah.
but then how did she have a real relationship with somebody who felt that way about Borg? Yeah, so the whole like they wanted it to be like a forbidden romance, but now they're their enemies thing, but I'm just like, when could they? I agree with you completely. When could they have ever been close?
Yeah.
They had to have dropped at least something where this Bejazzle person, see, at some point, like, we had to establish that maybe at the start of her life or a big chunk of it, she was a Justice Ranger, and that, or did anything good. We don't know anything about her.
Except that she's super
her
mega
being
evil.
a torture person. Yeah, so it's kind of like, okay, what, guys, you leave out huge
Maybe
chunks of
she's the
story
one that helped Seven become a ranger. Maybe she's the one that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and good turns bad, good turns evil, that kind of thing. I mean, there's probably, I don't know, maybe we'll find out when they come out with that new Ranger.
Seven
Ranger
turns hot.
Yeah, that new Ranger show that we think will hopefully come out.
Not gonna happen.
The Rangers are there to deal with the fact that there's a power vacuum, right? And that lady is taking advantage of the power vacuum to do evil. So why would she have started the Rangers?
Well, not starting the Rangers, but maybe she was a Ranger, was helping with the power vacuum, and then was like, wait a minute.
And then she was like, fuck this, you know what? I can take
I can
advantage
make
of it.
money doing this. You know what I mean?
Money.
Yeah.
I wonder
They had to have tried
if
at all.
if they thought that much about it.
Probably
No,
not.
they did not.
Sexy time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, okay. I mean, they are quite hot.
There's this thing.
Why can't you guys do a story like I want to?
There's this thing when you're writing a script where I mean, in writing school at least, where, you know, often the main character will be like really in depth and thought of, and then the other characters will just be there to serve the story or kind of, you know, like support the main character. And the trick to avoiding that is writing a detailed biography of all of the minor characters, so that you actually know like what their personal goals are, what drives them, so that they become a character and not just like a sign that says "Go this way, main character."
And how they would interact and react to stuff.
Yeah, and I'm not convinced they did that here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope. Even the final showdown where she's about to kill her, I'm just like, I don't feel much. I don't feel like the heightened tension of like the past that they were supposed to have had.
Yeah.
And then she gets vaporized. I'm just like, was that bad? I mean, she does suck. I kill her.
Yeah.
But like, after like hearing Picard say murder isn't justice, like, hey, I as a kid I remember hating it when characters did this and spared people. But now it would have been a character development of 7 of 9 if she's like, and you're coming in with me, and like, oh, what?
Yeah.
But and she's like, bam, now I'm a badass, killing everybody. I'm like, oh, okay,
But
all right.
yeah, I feel like they're trying to make Seven his foil, where they have the same goal, but he does it the right way and she does it the wrong way. You know?
Although she did, I mean, kill 7 of 9's quote unquote child. So
Yeah.
I mean,
but,
somebody kills
you know,
my kid, I'm going to blow their head off. That's all I'm saying.
right. But Picard was like, you're not supposed to take revenge.
Yeah.
So,
She was like, fuck that.
and then, yeah, actually, they made a whole thing about it, because even Rio's comments, he's like, I'm okay with it. So it is one of the themes, like, is revenge okay or not? And then you have to have a theme like that, you have to have people on both sides. Picard, don't do revenge. Revenge is only going to cause more problems. Rios and Seven, some people deserve to be murdered. It's a perfectly good theme to be doing in Star Trek. It's the right kind of theme for that. Like, a person has done bad to you. Should you do bad to them in return or not? So yeah, that's fine
Yeah.
to me. I don't know. How do you guys feel about it?
An eye for an eye,
Michael?
baby. No.
There's a speech off that also threw me off, where Picard lays down what a Picard would say, and you know, usually that talks maybe someone down, or when they don't do what he says, then it's kind of like, whoa, that was fucked up. But then Rios comes around and says more of like a Han Solo, more logical why you shouldn't do a certain thing, and then she's like, oh, okay, I'll listen to that. And I was like, okay, I don't know how I felt about that.
Yeah, I wrote down Rios, pro revenge.
And yeah, she went with that. Okay. Yeah, that was, I don't know, man. I like Jonathan Frakes directing. I'm not sure what they're going for in this episode. I love his Orville episodes though.
Yeah, Librarians is adorable.
Ooh.
Watch The Librarians if you hadn't. It's really cheeky. It's good fun.
He actually
I've heard great things.
directed some of the episodes of Roswell, the old show that was on the CW that I really
cool.
loved that show. So I like.
Oh, the old one.
The old one.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's been directing for.
They did remake that recently.
The new
Dawson's Creek versus
the new one,
Aliens.
the new one isn't as good as the old one.
basically.
But
I wouldn't know. I didn't watch that.
but I like that show so much. I actually met the cast at one
dope.
of the
Nice.
they had a little like meeting thing at Great America, which is like a amusement park out here. And I totally was
cool.
like, I'm gonna go meet him.
Cool.
It
Nice.
was fun.
I don't watch a lot of teen
Yeah,
dramas.
I used to.
frankly.
I was more of a solid Dawson fan, so I didn't want aliens in
Cute.
that.
See,
so
I've
I
always
never
been a
gave it
sci-fi
chance.
nerd. So Roswell, you had me. You had me at Roswell.
When was that? That was like late 90s, early 2000s?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching TNG reruns and
Yeah.
Stargate.
I definitely did not watch Felicity at all when I was growing up.
I saw a couple episodes.
Speaking of teen drama kind of stuff, Felicity.
Right?
I totally watched
Sorry.
that. Me and my wife totally watched that.
The first time I saw the Underworld movie, I was like, "Hey, it's the dude from Felicity," and that's all I had to say.
I'm glad he's doing well.
Yeah, what I watch a little of Felicity, and I like the nice guy versus the bad boy. So I always had a
Well, I just
a
thought
thing against the bad boy.
I
throughout
thought
all
you
his
would've
I just
career.
thought Felicity was adorable.
I thought you would have. I thought
No,
you would have
there
enjoyed
is.
that the Pink Ranger was in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
Kimberly.
I don't know how this
Amy
became a
Jo Jones.
I
Felicity
watched it for a
podcast.
while. But I tapped out. Yeah, I'm not sure how we made the jump actually.
Anyway,
It was my fault.
okay, back to Star Trek Picard.
Sorry, I was reading ahead in my notes because I was trying to figure out what happened next, and I'm actually like not sure what this note is referring to.
Just throw
Okay.
it out there.
It says 7 commits some murders. Okay, we saw that. That was just her beaming down. Oh, before that, okay. 7 takes 2 phasers and leaves the microchip, a comm chip. So yeah, she's definitely
Oh,
coming
yeah.
back.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean, there's no way she's
Oh
not.
yeah. Well, I love
Um,
that she's like, "Hey
then
Picard, can I
someone
get a
commits
couple
murders?
phasers? We could always use extra." He's like, "Yeah, sure."
I like how she took the
Yeah,
Mark
it's like,
IIs.
"Yeah, sure, go ahead." Even though it's not really his ship and his stuff, it's Rios's.
Yeah, right.
He's like, take whatever you want.
Take whatever you want.
I mean, he probably brought aboard some of those Tal Shiar
Yeah.
weapons, right? So, I mean, you bring
hope.
some, you give some away. Maybe you give away the wrong ones, whatever.
The ones that are stun only.
yeah, for
Damn
real.
it, Picard.
It's like Picard keeps forgetting he's not actually the captain and that Rios is the captain. He's like, oh my bad.
Actually, I keep wondering if the show is forgetting that
Yeah.
or not. Yeah, because I'm not even joking. Because like he does seem to keep taking a lot of command, where someone should be saying something, but no one says anything, and it's like, is the show forgetting, or are we having like fun with it because he just
Well,
can't
not only
stop
that, but like, what are you gonna say to Picard? I mean, the guy, even the holograms were like, "Dude, this guy is like such and such. How do you feel having him on the ship? He's like Admiral Picard." So I mean, they're aware, like, hey, like this guy is legit and respected and has done some stuff.
And they are all like
Yeah.
Starfleet
Yeah.
or
Well,
currently Starfleet.
and
you know?
Rios may be giving him some leeway too
Yeah.
because he likes him and
Exactly.
stuff.
I figured out what my note was. The note in particular says, in quotes, "Haha, fuck mercy. Picard can have hope like you used to have before I took it away from you." That it said 7 of 9 next to it, and I was like, what? But that's actually what Bejazel says to her.
I know.
Basically, like, I mean, not literally, but she's like, Picard still has hope. 7 used to have hope that she could change the world, and then this lady is the one who wrecked it for her. Which, again, like, what was the relationship before this? But the thing I wrote under it is, I didn't realize Kurtzman gave himself a self-insert.
How so?
Because he does a lot of work that's like, everybody around you should be suspicious of, everything's really dark, and Star Trek is getting darker, so it's a joke about how he's like, haha, no more hope for you, fuck you. So that was just a joke. Sorry, Kurtzman, but seriously, man, shit. Like, can you make things a little happier, please?
I do feel like that is what we're seeing, because like when it comes to like the groups online and videos and whatnot, a lot of people are roasting this Star Trek, and I feel like they're getting to a point where they're like, you know what, fuck it, like we aren't turning this back to normal Star Trek, so let's just do whatever we want and just go nuts and even like trigger people.
Yeah,
and
I find it weird though, because like 8 years ago, Star Trek Into Darkness came out, and everybody was like, what? Why is it so dark? Why is the government evil? Why is the animal a villain? Like, what's going on? And then the exact same thing is happening here.
Yeah.
It's 8 years later. And it's also Kurtzman, and it's the same kind of, like, mood, but we're like, so I'm just like, Kurtzman, I don't like your idea of Star Trek. Can you lighten up, please?
I would love him to make his own space opera.
He should make his own space opera. Yeah, perfect. He has good.
Yep.
He has like good concepts. Just
I like the
they're
idea
just
of
being
like
jammed into a
Space
box they don't fit into.
Rangers.
I feel. I know you feel differently, Michael, and I respect you.
Oh, I respect you too, Sabrina.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I think in the back of my head, I keep thinking, okay, what would TNG have been like had they had the rules taken away the way that they have now? Do you see what I'm saying? Not to mention the technology that we have now. So,
I mean, DS9 changed that way
Yeah.
because Roddenberry passed away before DS9.
yeah, but it's like, part of me is like, I mean, yeah, like TNG and the, the utopia and no racism and no money and stuff, but there was still money with like the Ferengi and the gold press latinum and stuff. Like there was still some kind of economy. But part of me is like, would it have been more like this if they didn't have the same rules back then? Because like part of me, I liked the Star Trek 2009 movie. It was action. It brought.
I like 2009, but not 2012. Okay.
That's fair. Yeah.
The first one, not the second one. First and third.
I like
one.
the first and the
The
third
first
one,
is my favorite, and I loved that it was an action movie because I like action movies. It was an action movie in Star Trek. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want Star Trek and you want
Exactly.
action, then
And it
that's a
brought
great
new
movie.
it brought new fans.
Can be done.
Right. And
Yeah,
it brought
definitely.
it kind of broadened the idea of
Horizon.
Star Trek and it broadened the audience and it brought in just a whole new generation, which is good. Like that's
Did
good.
it.
Obviously for reasons they had to make it the Kelvin timeline, which they made it work. But part of me is wondering like, well, what would Star Trek have been back in those days had they had the same like ability to do things that they do now? I mean, it's the same kind of argument that I had with Discovery. A lot of people are bagging on Discovery. Oh, it doesn't look old enough. It doesn't look like the original series. The sets don't look right. It's too dark. It's too bright. Oh, lens flare, blah, blah, blah. And the thing is, if you can think about the fact that, dude, in 1960, they didn't have any of this stuff. This is the best they could do on the limited budget they had. These episodes are like millions plus dollars per episode because they're essentially creating a movie in 10 episodes. You know what I'm saying?
So
Sure, but we haven't been talking about the visuals being not Star Trek. We've been talking about the plot.
Well,
not
I
being
was talking
Star
about
Trek,
that was
and-
specifically about Discovery. People were harping on Discovery, so that was just kind of an example.
Yeah, I do disagree with everyone on Discovery who was like, "Well, everything looks too sleek and nice." Yeah, because it's not 1967,
Exactly.
and we have
Wait,
a real
I
budget.
have to
now,
weigh in on this.
but-
I have to weigh in
Yeah,
on this.
oh my
So, first, did the new Star Trek create new fans? Because
I know plenty of people who
they
didn't
happened.
be Star Trek fans until 2009.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so they saw those movies, and then they actually started mining the rest of Star Trek and learning
Yeah.
about the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
absolutely.
right, never mind.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. That's fine. And then the problem is that so we had TOS, and then we went to the movies, and then the visual aesthetics is worked into the story. Like so, and actually I didn't notice it when I was a kid. I just thought like new Enterprise, cool, but instead they got a new refit Enterprise. So like we're seeing like their world, like as their special effects budget goes up, their world is also progressing so that we get a better Enterprise. Then we move on to the next generation, and like with our special effects, the sets are getting better, and still the world is also upgraded. And then we also get to see the old TOS ships sometimes. So the problem is that when we are trying to keep going forward in the franchise, like, and if you go back in time, now you don't have any story reason why everything looks better. It's throwing off like the fun that we were once having. Now you have to do it yourself, where you go, okay, well now it's our world that's different, and that's why it looks different versus how they did do it naturally in the show once, and that's what I just want to keep seeing.
I understand. I mean,
Like if you're gonna have better special effects, go forward in time, and then it's cool.
I just
But how they did it,
I
throws
have
things
less of an issue with this stuff, and that's why I'm kind of here to see. I'm here for the story, and I want to see beginning to end. Like, I'm a fan, as you all know, and I'm absolutely a fan of Picard. I am interested in the next 5 episodes and how that arc is going to play out, and then what's going to come next year. I am, it's about the story, and it's about the quality of, like, at the end of the day, it's still Picard being Picard, and there's some good and bad, and some things that we have issues with. But at the end of the day, I'm in it for Picard. Like, Picard's still my Picard, and I'm 100% excited about him and about the show. So, we can sit, like, I have my opinions, and there are things that I'm not going to like, but that's with any show,
I love you,
I don't
Jay.
think any of us are going to stop watching it.
Nope, I'm having too much fun talking about it.
But that does bring up a question that I will pose to you, but that we don't have to talk about today because I think it's going to take 2 hours by itself. But I invite you to ask yourself, like, what makes worlds recognizable to you? Like, you said earlier, what if we didn't have the rules that Roddenberry put down for TOS and TNG that went away once we had DS9 sort of, and then started kind of changing? Aren't those rules what makes one world distinct from the other?
So, actually, let me jump back. Specifically, I was talking about the rules with networks. I wasn't talking about Roddenberry. Yeah, because we have taken... It's kind of like how satellite radio has taken off, like, the terrestrial radio rules for, cussing on radio and all that stuff, right?
Gotcha.
So, same kind of thing with Picard.
You mean like the people who complain about the fact that she said sheer fucking hubris?
Exactly.
Like,
and that's just it.
Let's be honest about the military, you guys. Everybody in the military swears.
Yeah.
It makes sense that Starfleet would swear.
And that's kind of what I was implying is not necessarily Roddenberry's rules. I'm talking about the rules of the networks, because since this is a pay for stream service, they don't have those rules. Now imagine if TNG didn't have those rules. They could have gone crazy on that show and had all kinds of crazy cool stuff.
Listen, if we didn't have studio rules, this is what I think would have happened. You ready?
Yeah.
Voyager would have been a serial year in hell.
Oh, yeah.
And we would have had a great time, and Voyager would not be hated the way it is.
Yeah. No, it would have,
Unfortunately, let's go into the alternate universe where A Year in Hell was allowed to be the plot rather than just like a two-parter. We probably would not have had 7.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, and then they had to and it's
there are some benefits.
Yeah.
I mean, there are benefits, absolutely. But then, had they not had the rules, and had we had the full series of Year in Hell, we wouldn't have even known about 7, and we would have been like, "That was amazing." You know what I'm saying? So
just like, alternate universes. There's good and bad everywhere.
Yeah.
I would have still known about 7
yeah.
though, somehow.
Well, Jerry Ryan would have still been on Leverage, so I mean, we would have known Jerry Ryan.
That's okay. Fair enough.
And the shenanigans with her ex would have also still made her famous. Cough. We don't have to talk about that. Okay, the next scene.
But that's
the next scene is Maddox in sickbay, and let me just mention. We actually had 2 very strong foreshadowings of what happens in the scene. The first one is, like I mentioned, Agnes punching the robot advertisement. Oh, roll of thunder. Interesting. My sky's clear. Okay, sorry. And then the second one was when Agnes was on the ship and she was like supposedly waiting to beam everybody up. She's like freaking out and she's like, "You can do this. You can do this. You have to do this. Oh my god, I don't think I can do this." That was also a scene where I was like, yeah, she's clearly not talking about just beaming people up. This is a woman who is an expert in AI. Like, she's not gonna freak out about fucking up a
Oh, that tricked me then.
Did it?
I thought this was because I was thinking, okay, what is her character now? And then like she's still like flustered by beaming people. Okay, well okay. Now that she's actually thinking about something else, that makes way more sense.
I was like, you were like, she's flustered, really? That seems like weird writing. I was like, she's flustered, really? That seems like suggestive writing. Okay. Let's see. What are my notes? Maddox in sickbay. Dodge is dead, isn't she? He asks her. They mentioned the artifact. That's the Borg ship. He says, oh yeah, he sent Soji to the artifact to find the truth. I also wrote, please no more 9/11 illusions, but you can ignore that. And then the Federation are involved in hunting her. That's why I wrote that note. So before we talk about her murking him, I guess we could talk about her murking him too. So Soji is sent to find the truth on the artifact. So I don't remember who said it, but one of you were talking about how special the last Romulan group were to be taken in.
Yeah. That was me.
Keith, you said? That was you?
Yeah. It was. They keep on making a note that like they're the only Romulans, which they weren't.
Yeah. So I wonder when he says he sent Soji to find the truth, if it's not that the truth is like in the Borg information that she's studying, but actually that group of Romulans.
I got nothing on. They aren't giving like good clues at all. They're saying
I'm okay with that. It's finally
screen.
Actually allowing me to look at the clues and figure out what the heck they're referring to, rather than telling me all the information. So I'm fine with that.
Right. I'm saying I feel like we aren't getting any clues though.
Oh, gotcha.
We're saying mystery is, and step back, and then you're like, wait, I need something to work with. But yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not sure what the truth can be. All over that scene, the stuff that I said already. I don't like what they did with Maddox. They Last Jedi'd him so hard. They turn into a trash person who can't handle anything.
And then he dies before actually giving us any useful info.
Yeah, I really thought that like there would be a speech showdown in like this kick-ass like laboratory where we go, aha! You found Maddox. He's like, aha, you found me. Now you will know what I've been doing all this time. And say, he's like, oh my God, I like cookies. Like, oh, all right.
They were like,
thanks for bringing back Maddox.
You're right. They were like, Maddox has the answers. Let's go find Maddox. Oh, we found Maddox. Maddox has the answers. He tells us he has the answers, and then Agnes has to kill him before he tells us the answers. Like, I know you're trying to do this all in 10 episodes. Fine, but I've seen a lot of people be like, this is the episode that lost me, and I see why.
Which for me is going to make lots of fun videos to watch online, so I'm okay with it. Like, my Star Trek happened. I'm happy with where it ended with like in TNG. This is an interesting experiment.
Fun fan fiction.
Fun for it's fun for us to talk about and like just like
let's see what the next 5 episodes have. Let's see what next year has. Don't count Picard out. I'm just saying. You can quote me on that.
Jay.
We're clearly not doing that, Jay.
Jay,
I love you too, Michael.
Yeah, so there's this case where if you're watching a movie, and let's say it's a murder mystery, and the murder mystery seems... Oh, you know what? I have a better example. Let's talk about Game of Thrones for a sec. So Game of Thrones started out real strong. Everybody was super excited about it, and then the end was just like...
Starbucks cup.
Sucked.
It undid the joy.
Yeah.
Like, now I don't... Even though season 1 through 4 is amazing, I don't think I could watch it again.
Yeah.
Because I know where it's going, and it's just going to make me mad. I'm hoping for a reverse here, where the reveal is so dope that I'm like, all right, I forgive all those past transgressions. So I appreciate your optimism, and I wish I could replicate it. But my faith is not very strong after this episode.
But do you
Obviously,
have,
I'll keep watching it.
But do you have faith of the heart? That's the main question.
I've got faith of the heart. You know, it's funny because we were talking about disagreeing with people who hated Discovery just because of the visual changes. I remember when Enterprise came out, it was 2001, so I was 11.
Jesus, I was 21.
And
Oh,
all right.
I'm old.
We already know I'm the youngest one here. Let's chill out. Okay. I was 11. And at the time, when the first episode had come out, the forums just exploded with like, what the heck is this? Star Trek themes aren't supposed to have lyrics. And that feels the same to me as like, why does Discovery have nice uniforms? You know, like, is that really the like one thing that will make or break stuff? Not liking the song is fine. I know some people hate it. It's fine. But honestly, like, Enterprise is very much my least favorite. I don't rewatch it. I'm very frustrated with what they did with T'Pol.
Yeah.
And Malcolm. I wish they had let him be.
Yeah.
Okay.
With Trip.
I'm
but
pissed.
same with
Yeah.
Garrick. They were just like, no. That being said, I never listened to the song, and still now, what freaking year is it? 19 years later, I know all
Yeah,
of the lyrics.
absolutely.
So like, they did
Yeah,
a good
dude.
job.
I actually like the song before they
Yeah,
changed
Actually,
it.
what?
agreed.
I mean, some of them are pretty dorky. Like, I admit some of the lyrics are
Yeah.
dorky, but they're fun. Whatever.
I mean, you guys know me.
It's a
I'm
great
the
it's a great
optimist.
meme.
I actually didn't mind Enterprise as much as everyone else. I totally watched it.
I really
Yeah.
liked it. Yeah.
Enterprise was the latest transgression in the prequel sadness that I was experiencing at that time. Because, like my life, when it comes to science fiction, I love going forward. I love seeing the next like iteration or reformation of the world and how it progresses. And then the Star Wars prequels happened. I was like, oh fuck, hell no! I want to see what happens after Return of the
Yeah,
Jedi.
that was right
When
after
we're
the
doing-
Star
oh my
Wars
God.
prequels.
Yep. And then like we got a Clone Wars TV series. When do we go in the future? And then we got into the future, and that happened. Anyway, but yeah, like then Enterprise is doing like, why is everybody going backward in time when I want to see what happens next? And yeah, it was just a lot of frustration. And by the end of it, Enterprise won me over. I was having a good time with it by the end.
Well,
I
that
think
was
Enterprise.
that was the first one my wife and I watched together. So that has a special place in my heart.
Nice.
That's sweet.
Cool, man.
Enterprise, I will give points to they, unlike the Star Wars prequels and unlike Discovery, gave themselves enough time between their thing and the thing that they were prequeling for it to make sense that it wasn't the same. And I do appreciate that they were like, this is very much the beginning. Starfleet isn't a thing yet. It's just like our first real deep space voyage. It made a lot of sense for them to have a Vulcan exchange officer. I know they planned to reveal that she was half Romulan, and they never got there.
They have a crappy starship that doesn't have shields but has armor.
Yeah,
It didn't have tractor beams. It said grappling.
that
hooks.
makes sense
I
to
love
me. I think that's cute.
Yeah, no.
That's
I loved
prototype.
how much I loved how much I didn't like. I have it
I
on my
find
desk,
that-
like the NX. I don't like it, but it's on my desk, and I kind of like it, sort of. I don't know. I have a weird relationship.
I thought that Enterprise made its case a little weaker by being like, haha, we're 100 years in the past, things are totally different, but then they still like would bring in like species that we hadn't supposedly met yet or anything because they wanted to make references
Yeah.
to TNG.
Yeah.
So I think they made their own life hard
Yeah.
there.
Fun fact: my wife
but-
was a huge Quantum Leap fan, so Scott Bakula is like, yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
I was just gonna say Scott
Damn.
Bakula. Come on.
But here's
I actually like Scott
Quantum
Bakula
Leap
and
the thing.
truth.
Quantum Leap much more than
the running
Enterprise.
joke in the house, and every now and then she'll just bring it up out of nowhere and just look at me and go like, Bakula ruined the franchise. And I'm like, how dare you,
What?
honey? Because he did not.
Oh, that's weird. There's actually a joke in my household that Bakula did like so many different characters, and he had to make so many specific choices to make all of those characters extremely distinct in Quantum Leap that when he hit Enterprise, he was just like, fuck it, we'll just do general
Right.
human.
Do I even know
Generic
how to do
human
that
captain.
anymore?
Yeah.
I met him at the convention, and it was amazing. And he told me to tell my wife hi because I told him
I'm
that
sure
she
he
was a
will.
huge fan. And I thought that was adorable.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's sweet.
That's
Sweet
cool.
guy. Yeah, did anybody have anything else to say about Maddox?
Maddox was just why was he there? Like,
Yeah.
well, it's almost like it would have been more enjoyable or more suspenseful had we not actually found him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now he's just dead by Agnes, and I realized that they had to
No,
do
he's
that
just
with
dead.
her and her character for the story, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm concerned that there's too much working backwards where scenes exist purely to set up
Yeah.
something in the future.
Well, when she was like, I wish you knew what I know. I wish they hadn't shown
Yeah.
me. It's like, I really want to know what these synths do to like destroy all of humanity potentially or whatever. I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and who is the person who
Well,
showed
who was
it?
that Vulcan
Yeah.
Admiral? Like, we still don't know what happened when
Yeah,
they
yeah.
talked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Cry
Yeah.
Kid 2 woman. I think she did.
Yeah,
Common-
we don't
Common
remember we not remember. We don't know what happened when they talked to her. So this could be a new
does
new development since she talked to the admiral.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the Admiral who came to visit her with sunglasses.
Yeah.
It's like a Men in Black or something.
So that brings up the question: is the Vulcan admiral secretly Romulan, or do the Romulans and the Vulcan have that shared history about?
That's
androids?
a good question. I don't think she's secretly Romulan. At least my gut doesn't think so. I think she's actually Vulcan, but I think that she's a Vulcan who aligns with those Romulan ideals, which I do think probably
just by herself.
Which I think probably means
because I don't believe in the show as much. I think she's a secret. Romulan.
I just think that they probably have that shared past. Maybe that shared past is part of what separated Vulcans and Romulans.
That's a good
All right,
thought.
so Jay on the shared past Vulcan train, Keith on the secret Romulan train. Where you at, Michael?
Uh,
I'm really hoping for shared past, but I'm guessing Romulan.
Same.
I'm on the Jerry Ryan train.
Okay.
Oh wait, that wasn't the question.
Jerry Ryan train.
No.
Oh, you got to get on board
Jerry
behind
Ryan,
me.
if you're listening, we love you.
Right. Yes, we do. No, I think she was just like a one-off. I mean, I think she's Vulcan. I think she was just aligned with their ideals. I don't think it was like some secret, Vulcan Romulan.
Are they all secretly Section 31? Because I feel like Section 31 might know a little more about this Romulan secret than everybody else does. Especially because I have a feeling Section 31 is fucking around with the temporal rules.
Timeline? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's like a temporal office specifically to be like, don't do shenanigans like that. And Section 31 is like, you can't stop us. And Starfleet as a whole is just like, why are all my parts incompatible? Which, oh no. Keith, you'll be happy to know that reminds me of a quote from Firefly, where they go, a body of government is a body of ungoverned people.
True.
So Section 31 running amok, maybe? What's going on? I just don't know, whatever.
And I think they would want to advertise Section 31 because they're trying to make that into a TV
that's true.
show. So
I definitely get strong by government evil.
Yeah. Even though the
vibes.
Section 31,
which is why I made that please no more 9/11 illusions.
Section 31. So that TV show is going to be in the past though, since it's going to have Michelle O. So it's not going to tie into this. That at least not directly.
It's going to be in the past.
Not directly. Yeah.
It won't tie in plot, but just bringing up Section 31 will remind people that the show exists.
All right, so we're at almost an hour and 40 minutes, y'all, and I'm sure that we could keep going.
That covered all my notes. Do you guys have anything in particular you want to talk about?
I've covered everything.
Except for the stowaway, but I think we know.
I think
we knew Rocky was the stowaway. It's cute.
It was sweet where he was just like, "Welcome aboard," or "Welcome aboard," or "Welcome to the team," or something like that. Yeah,
Welcome back, yeah.
And it kind of solidified, like, yeah, she's on the journey now for the long haul. Yeah.
Well, I've said this before many times. I think the four of us should be writing for the show because we have much better ideas than the shit that actually happens.
Absolutely.
They can hire us anytime. We're right here.
God,
We're
I would love that money.
I'm cheap too.
No, I'm not. No, I'm just kidding. I live in California. I am not cheap.
That's true. I feel for you.
Final thoughts?
Yeah, that's all my notes.
Michael?
This was
overall.
This was my least favorite of the episode so far, but just those two lines that Agnes said at the end, like, I wish they hadn't shown me and stuff. That really piques my interest. Like, what the hell happened? I hope we find out and they don't continue it into season 2.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
This obviously was not my favorite episode. I think there was some stuff where they just kind of let the actors kind of do what they wanted, or like Picard enjoying himself and
have a good time.
Seven being the BA phaser killer. You know what I mean? Like it.
She does do that a lot in Voyager, though.
But I mean, but she does it a lot as a cold kind of ex-Borg, not a human ranger. You see what I'm saying?
They were like, "Here's all of your humanity, but you're still an angry, vengeful."
But at the same time, there were things that I liked, and it did progress the story. There are things, it's like, I think it's kind of like every episode in this series so far. There's been good, there's been bad, there's been stuff that I've agreed with, there's been stuff that I haven't agreed with. But overall, I do like where the story's going, and my curiosity, same as Michael, I'm very, very curious about what's going on. That's why I say, like, let's wait and see what the next 5 episodes have, and then season 2, because I feel like they're building up to something that is gonna pay off. You know,
I mean, they better be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's gonna pay off.
Or I want my
Otherwise,
$6
I don't know why
back.
they picked this. Otherwise, I just don't know why they picked this like a specific way of doing things.
Yeah.
If they didn't have
but
an idea.
not my favorite
for the
episode,
end.
but I do enjoy the story progression, and I hope that 7 gets more than just what we've seen, because she is awesome. Yeah,
she'll be back.
I hope.
I'm sure she will. I will remind you all that before the show even started, Keith was like, I swear to God, if they have 7 show up for 1 episode and then leave. And you did think it would happen, and I was like, no, it won't happen, but we'll see.
Yeah, I was afraid of it, and actually I believed in the show not to do it because I saw so much about like how they seemed excited that she was back. So I was like, they're not gonna do this. They're not gonna. Okay, they did it.
Well, we don't know
we'll
yet,
see.
but yeah.
Yeah. What I predict, like this episode for me is off. It was like the final off the rails. We're not really gonna try to do Star Trek, Keith. Just buckle up and go for the ride. And I'm kind of now I'm very interested in what's gonna happen next. I don't like what they're doing, but I look forward to seeing. So now that you don't even care about trying to do the Star Trek I want, what are you gonna do? Like they have free reign to go as crazy as they want.
That's how they
So
get you.
That should be interesting.
Let me just
That's pretty
chime in
interesting to
real
watch.
quick. I apologize, but so here's the thing:
No.
it's not Star Trek like we want or what we're expecting or what we're thinking it should be, right? But it's also not Starfleet. It's not the same Starfleet. We've seen that. So
Right.
It's
yeah,
not
do you see what I'm
Starfleet at
saying?
all,
Like
in fact.
there's so Starfleet is wrong, which is making Star Trek wrong, right? So what if the payoff is Picard bringing balance to the Force? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you're right?
Well,
I
I
mean,
mean-
he is Picard. This guy is a legend, and if he, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if he can
That's
bring
gonna
out
be-
the conspiracy and what's actually going on, and then push it forward to make Starfleet a better Starfleet, because he even said it's not Starfleet, it's not my Starfleet. Like,
Yeah.
if you know that there's something going on at Starfleet, and he's gonna be the one that helps, and it's not our Star Trek because it's not our Starfleet, and maybe this show is him bringing it back to that. You see what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. Well, maybe it's not the
And-
Star Trek we need, but the one we deserve right
That's-
now.
Oh my God!
Sorry.
Take it.
This is what you get.
Please.
But yeah, he won't be I can't see him bringing back the golden age of Starfleet, because that will be the plot of the next season of
okay.
Star Trek Discovery.
Well, but Star Trek Discovery is now 1,000 years in the
just
future.
that
You know what? I hope that Star Trek Discovery does TOS style, like straight up, just almost none of it has to do with Starfleet, and it's all just them finding new people and being like, "What the heck is
Yeah.
going on here?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
that'd be cool with that.
Can at least one
But they
of
wanna
the
bring
new
back the
shows be
Federation.
episodic,
I know.
please?
Yeah.
Wait.
Nope.
Jay, actually, that reminds me. You remember 2 weeks ago? I was like, I feel like last week, I don't remember. I feel like I need to watch this show as Picard accidentally fell into a slightly alternate universe where the Federation is like shittier than itself, and he's trying to get it to
Yeah,
be his
yeah.
world. So yeah, I think we're hoping for the same kind
Yes. I
of
agree.
movement here. And I mean, it makes sense because, like Keith said, they're trying to make this show for the people who are like, what happened to my country? I want it to be better. I feel like it's becoming worse and we need to pull it back up. So it's kind of Picard being our example of how to pull things back up, like don't be a vigilante, don't take revenge on people, don't kill somebody who attacks you straight off. But it does feel a little inconsistent right now. We'll see what happens. I try not to be too hopeful because I don't like my heart getting crushed, and my heart gets crushed easily.
Yeah.
But
We're here for you, Sabrina.
As you, oh, you guys.
That's right.
We'll make it through together.
Yeah, we will. That's exactly what's gonna happen. I know I said last week that I hope that they don't have Agnes be totally evil. They have her be torn by what she's doing, and I do feel like that's what happened. She's definitely not killing him because she wants to. She's still my favorite of the new characters. she it just feels real, you know? Like there's no moment where she's upset that I'm like, yeah, you just put that on. But I'm very interested in why she killed Maddox, same as you, because I don't believe that she would have done it for anything less than like needs of the many.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I think whatever she saw was so horrible, she's like, I have to do this, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have to kill you or else
everyone
will die, or the end of the world, or the apocalypse, or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I mean that's what they're implying the evil of the two twins does, right?
Yeah.
Destroys everything.
What are we gonna? Yeah.
Or they close all Taco Bells, something.
Yeah.
They
when are we
close all
gonna
Taco
get
Bells.
skin like singed off Dodge back? That's what I want to know. Because if you're saying, because someone said that she's like they don't think she's dead.
Me.
So if she
dead.
just comes as this like broken android that just destroys everything, that would be pretty epic.
Wouldn't it?
If they were to be conservative, I would say that would happen by episode 7. But because they keep throwing everything at us right away, we'll probably see the next episode.
Nah, I think it's gonna be the.
I think you might be right. It's gonna.
And then season 2 is gonna be like trying to stop whatever her plan is.
She's gonna be unstoppable.
I would like that more.
And you know what? There's going to be a conflict between her and Soji, and it's the whole like yin and yang.
Yeah, of course,
and,
of course.
Anyway.
Right. Okay, so my favorite part of each episode. Oh man, this one is going to be real long. Sorry, everyone. I hope you love enjoying and enjoy listening to us rant, because
Time
it's
flies when you're having fun.
Yay!
My favorite part, and I'll go first this time. Theories about the future. So here's my theory. Season 1 ends with Dodge coming back. And thank you so much for leading me straight into this, because I hadn't thought of it till just now. Season 1 ends with Dodge coming back, melted Terminator or not, although it would be fun if she was like melted Terminator mode, and she activates all of the androids for the beginning of the end. And then season 2 is Romulan dude betraying his creepily incestuous sister for Soji. Soji discovering that, wait, she's not the villain after all, because Soji's arc in this season is her being like, wait, I'm the destroyer? So she'll be like, wait, I'm not the destroyer at all. I gotta stop the destroyer. The complexity of the twin relationship, Picard not knowing how to deal with the fact that one of them has to die, because obviously he wants to take care of them and stuff. So Arc 1 ends with the beginning of the android battle, and Arc 2 is like them being renegades trying to stop it by turning Dodge good, or something like that. Helping her gain her humanity, and by doing that help Picard regain his humanity, because for some reason they've decided that he doesn't feel like he's human since Locutus. I don't know if anything before that has led to that, but I feel like they're definitely tying in the regaining your humanity with regaining the utopia kind of together. So it's like your individual humanity is as important as the humanity of the Federation as a whole. So that's my hope. And I do genuinely believe that they can do this. So please, Kurtzman and team, let's go. Who wants to go next?
I'll jump in. Oh,
I'll go. Oh,
go ahead. Okay,
go ahead,
okay.
Jay.
I do think you guys kind of swayed me. I do think Dodge will come back. I didn't think of that originally, because I thought that it kind of made Picard even more driven toward this. But then when you guys are talking about it, I do think that she'll come back. I'm wondering if when she activates the synths, if that means that Agnes is going to get activated too. Yeah, do you see what I'm saying? Because I guess part of it is we don't know who's synth and who isn't now, right? Because do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there's this unknown of
because they made this whole deal about the fact that Soji and Daj were human synths, human-like.
Like, what did he say? Perfect, or like perfectly imperfect? Yeah.
So I mean, it's it kind of makes you guys have kind of opened my brain where I'm just like, like there's so
epic.
There's
so happy to hear it.
so future wise, I think that yes, you've swayed me. I think Daj is going to come back. I think there is going to be a yin versus yang, kind of like good sister, bad sister, trying to help. I think Picard and Soji are going to unite and for a common kind of goal to try to help the universe. You know what I mean? I am excited to see what Agnes saw and kind of possibly what happened with the Vulcan ambassador or admiral. Yeah.
Admiral.
Yeah, like there's just so much, but I also don't want to read too far because I love being surprised.
Yeah, I tend to do that.
That's why
Whoops.
I try not to watch like trailers, and I try not to watch what's coming up because I really enjoy the surprise. So as much as I like have ideas of what I think might happen, I also don't want to think too far into it.
Yeah. But I mean, my goal is to make you think too far into it. That's why I'm making you
Yeah,
read theories,
which is
so.
and
Sorry.
no,
Do you want me to
not
stop?
at all. It works. It's your thing. I would not have it any other way.
Plus, see, what I find exciting about it is that it makes you start like paying attention to like subtext and stuff, and then it'll make you guys better writers. So then we can write our own Star Trek TV show fan fiction.
She has a plan.
I mean, I'm definitely not like pushing you into becoming a content creator or anything. That's not my goal at all.
Just like I wasn't pushing you to be a Twitch streamer and didn't help you get your stream set
Yeah,
up.
we definitely
not
aren't
at all.
supporting each
Yeah.
other and stuff. Yeah, we would never do that. I hate all of you, and
I don't even know why I'm here.
I support these.
I'm leaving to start.
I support these
I'm leaving to
non-plans.
start my solo career. Bye.
Good luck with that one.
Michael?
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm
Rude.
No, I'm terrible at the theories, but I definitely do think Agnes is a synth. And like Jay said, I really want to find out what she saw, what made her just kill her former lover, gross, whatever.
No matter how weird that is, yeah.
Yeah. I would love to see 7 of 9 come back, if for no other reason than to have her on the artifact, like rescuing Borg and kicking ass.
Yes.
And then I predict, my one serious prediction is that we're going to have a scene with Rios flying into the Borg cube, and he says something to the effect of, let's blow this thing, kid, and go home, and he flies off, and... Oh, wait, that's sorry, a different show. But anyway. Yeah, like I said, I'm terrible with the predictions, but I just want to see what Agnes saw to make her go batshit crazy.
Well, what's your guess about what she saw then?
I mean...
It can be as vague as you want, just androids murdering.
Yeah, the synths, turning the key to shoot off the nuclear missiles, or what, something destroys humanity, and the synth are responsible, and she has to destroy Maddox. Well... I don't know why she'd have to do that to save humanity, but yeah. So anyway, like I said, I'm terrible at the predictions, but
cool. Don't worry, you'll improve. I'm sorry, I'm giving you a hard time. Keith, do you have any thoughts?
I'm gonna go against the idea that Agnes is an android. I think it'll dilute the android menace too much if we just have almost anybody showing up as one. Mm-hmm. And we haven't really seen enough of them hinting that there's like a Battlestar Galactica thing going on.
Oh,
yeah.
Hidden.
Or like a changeling.
I've seen no hint of that, but yeah. So, ooh, wow, that'd be cool. Something someone else brought up, but I'm gonna claim it. There's a factor out there that we haven't
discussed.
Yeah, and that is Lore still exists. He was never destroyed.
Yeah, what happened to him?
Starfleet has his body. So there is a android out there that wasn't destroyed that is data level that they
and that's a villain
extracted cells from. Mm-hmm. So I feel, do I think there's going to be a lore? Because to me, I think that I'm going to be mean to you, show. I think it gives the show too much credit that they'd actually go that deep. But by the last episode, we'll see that there is a galactic threat rising that everybody has to unite against and now bring back the Federation.
Rise of the Republic.
And
yeah. So if that happens too, it's gonna expose the bad eggs in the Federation.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be that utopia thing. But that might be their goal for the whole show rather than just the first season. I wonder actually how long they're planning. Are they planning to do?
Oh, I don't know about 7. No,
I doubt it.
My guess would be 3
I doubt that too.
or 4 at the max.
3 or 4.
I know there's season 2 because he asked Whoopi Goldberg to be on it, but that's all I know so far.
Yeah.
With what I've been tracking in the business world, I think you'll get season 2, and that will be it.
I mean,
yeah, I think that they even know it, that they're going they spent so much money on season 1 that they business wise they couldn't stop it there. So we will at least get one more because, like I said, I think they really want to wrap up this kind of Star Trek. We'll get one more that go all out, and we'll see a finale, and that'll be it. And then you'll start seeing other shows like Discovery will start wrapping up. I think you'll see that'll be the last season of Discovery. We'll see the next one we see,
and then they were lost forever.
Yep. Oh, I think they'll by the end of Discovery, they will have remade single-handedly the Federation.
Or Discovery's gonna end up just being Voyager, but only in one season, where they're like, we gotta get back.
So Sabrina,
Except
I just had a huge epiphany. So,
perfect.
You're talking about Picard being dropped in a different universe, right? Kind of thing. So what if this isn't Picard? What if this is Shinzon and it's all a big setup? Right?
Oh my God.
And the actual Picard
that would be
being
dope.
killed by the Romulans, by the Zhat Vash or whatnot.
Hey,
that would be really, really cool.
Yo.
Hey, Jay.
1,000 points to you, Jay,
Yo.
if that turns out to be true. Like,
No,
1,000.
Jay, you know how I said I loved you before? I take that back.
Yeah, I figured.
Oh, dang.
No, that would be pretty dope, actually.
What if he's a plant? He's not really Picard at all.
I love it. I love it.
Because we know the
love it.
Romulans
That's
were cloning
adorable.
Picard. We don't know how many clones there were, honestly.
His two, like, Tal Shiar servants are actually like,
Yeah,
you're Picard. Yep. Wow,
Good job.
that's wow, Jay. I hope you're right. That's
for the
that would
record.
be a
I know
game
I'm not
changer.
right, but I mean, come on, mind explosion.
It would be
right?
fun though.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Keith, I think it would actually make sense for them to do like season 1 is the build up to the android thing, and then I'm combining our things. If season 1 ends with the destroyer, whoever it turns out to be, triggering all of the android, then season 2 would be all about like stopping that. Then they would have reached their goal. Their like complete story arc at the end of season 2. There's no real reason to continue after that. So I think you might be right about that length there. I think I just like some part of my brain is still assuming that if they're doing a Star Trek series, they're trying to do 7 seasons, because that was the TNG DS9 Voyager rule. But this is a new era of Star Trek, and there's no reason why they should make shows the same length. So,
I mean, I want them to
that.
make it as many seasons as they can. I love it. Give me all the Star Trek. Take my money. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me 10 seasons. Give me 20 seasons. I don't care.
It would be...
I have a
I'm
limited
surprised
amount
at
of
you,
money.
Jay.
Yeah.
That would go back to how I like my science fiction, where like Stargate had a chance to win you over because they had 26 episodes per season, and this is not working for me. But it'd be really cool to see if if they had 26 episodes and 7 seasons, like what could they craft this into? That would be awesome to see. But
Yeah,
we're not
I'd like
that
to
era
see
anymore.
more character development rather than background exposition. I just want more time for the characters to get to know each other and to develop relationships rather than starting with characters that already have relationships.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely a feature of the length of the seasons and the episodic versus serial. So.
Although these days when I see a show that has 26 seasons, I'm like, God, that's a lot of work.
Episodes
Yeah.
of the season.
Yeah. It's like, I don't have time to watch
To
that.
me, it feels like. To me, it feels like bathwater. I can just sink into it and relax, because serial 10 episodes are like bam, bam, bam. We gotta get you next episode, bam, and then you're rocketed to the finale.
And every
then it's
episode
over.
has a hook for the next one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
feels complete
Versus-
until you finish the season.
Yeah.
I feel no stress whatsoever turning on a Stargate episode. I'm like, you know what? I'm in for this episode. They'll close it up this episode.
Yeah, Keith, you haven't hit
always
season
good.
4 yet. Most of my favorite episodes are in season 4 and 5. And my favorite
Nice.
Stargate Atlantis episodes are character episodes. And because we're not doing episodic, there will not be character episodes in this show.
Yeah.
They just won't exist.
Yeah.
And that's why I often
eras.
complain about I want more shows to be episodic and not serial. I feel like we've done that was my problem with How to Get Away with Murder. It's just like every single episode was stressful because it's just always like nothing gets resolved. It's just always continuing. And it's because they want to keep people interested when they're streaming, but I'm okay with short story
I feel the
character
stress of-
exploration sometimes. I want to take my time,
Yeah.
we watch shows to
me just
de-stress
be in this
sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not to be stressed, to de-stress.
Exactly.
And like the binging also like gets me like a little stressed, like that I have to keep up with everybody else. Like,
Right.
and people just, I finished the full season one day. I'm like, oh Jesus,
Yeah.
wait, I have to not care. I'm gonna let go of this and go watch something else because I don't want to chase other people's watch schedules.
Yeah, I had that episode with The Witcher because I was playing the game at the time and on stream, and people on stream obviously see that you're playing The Witcher. They want to talk to you about the TV show. But I was watching it with my roommate, so I can burn through it in an episode. So I had to like skip playing it one week because like otherwise I would have gotten spoiled, you know? Like, oh, it's so fast. And then it's not really useful for studios anyway because like say Stranger Things. Stranger Things exploded in popularity for like 3 weeks, and then, well, season 1 did really well, and then season 2 came out, and everybody watched it immediately. Everybody talked about it really well for a week, and then it just like vanished. And it's not useful to them to have something that we only talk about 1 week a year, as opposed to talking about every week. So Picard is kind of in the middle because it's still doing the serial stuff, but it is coming out weekly. So I think we'll start getting a balance, especially because Mandalorian was actually purely episodic.
So good.
And Disney is very much kind of the forerunner of what the film and television industry is doing now. Like, other people are chasing them. You know, Universal tried to do the Monster franchise because they were chasing MCU. DC is chasing MCU. So since Disney is slowly returning to kind of episodic stuff, I think other studios will start doing it, and hopefully with Viacom and Paramount rejoining hands, we'll see some. I'm not saying that all Star Trek has to be like TNG, but it would be nice if a couple of the many shows they were working on were episodic. And I actually have high hopes for the kids shows. The two animated shows.
I was just gonna say,
I think are going to be like that.
I didn't know there was a live action kids show coming.
Yeah, so I believe there's the animated Lower Decks is like ensigns instead of high ranking officers,
supposed to be comedic,
and then
if
the
I'm not
Nickelodeon.
mistaken.
Yeah, and then I think so.
Yeah.
And then the Nickelodeon show is about a bunch of kids who like find a defunct Starfleet ship and like steal it to go have adventures. I think
I can't wait to watch that with my kiddo.
And
I can't wait to watch
always
that.
That's actually that's
I
the
can't wait to
show
watch
that
that.
show.
forward to.
Like that episode of like DS9 with like they had that young crew that had their own
The
like,
Reliant,
Defiant, and they all went
yeah,
down.
Red Squad,
I was like,
right? Weren't they Red
yeah,
Squad?
I was like, man, that would have been a good show.
Red Squad.
That would have been a great show, and now it looks like we might get it. Actually.
So I am excited about that.
Cool.
Anything else we want to talk about today?
We're at 2 hours and 2 minutes.
we're at 2 hours now.
What an episode!
As of today, we found out that Michael Chabon is
I didn't
stepping
hear
down
that.
as showrunner. So we get a new showrunner for season 2.
Interesting.
I'm a little concerned about how many shows are just like swapping out showrunners every season.
Yeah.
And it's not just Star Trek that's happening in
Yeah.
other parts of the world. That happened like on American Gods too. Just
It happens a ton on movies.
if you want a show to have a consistent tone, you need to have the same show.
It happens a ton on movies. Like people start out and step down, start out. Like some movies are on their third or fourth iteration of.
Yeah, I'm really not. I'm really not a fan of that, and that's actually why most of the time I prefer indie movies to big budget movies, because that's definitely a problem where you'll have a director and then the production team will be like, we don't like the direction this director is taking, so they'll just like change the director. That's for film. TV. So for TV you have the stage. What the thing you just said? I'm bad with words. The showrunner for television and then the director for the movies. Like we saw that a lot in the Marvel movies where they're just like halfway will toss out a director and grab a new one, or they threw Edgar Wright off of Ant-Man because they didn't like the ending he was going for because it wasn't generic enough. That's definitely a frustration of big studio kind of productions.
But I will say that if you're out there listening to this and you are frustrated with serial stuff and you do want episodic, you just have to start looking elsewhere. Like I think, I'm not sure if I said this on the podcast, but it was like the era of comic books that I went through where I was into X-Men and Wolverine and that was it, and I was happy, and then it changed writers and artists and turned into just garbage and I couldn't enjoy it anymore. Then I found out that, hey, it's not the brand name that you love, it's writers and creators. So I had to find other comic books, and then like it broadened my horizons of comic books and what comic books could be, and like I found more incredible stories. So yeah, if you want Star Trek like it used to be, the Orville, Stargate, and can I interest you guys in a little Ultraman?
Ultraman,
I think-
woo!
Well, I think
Ultraman
the
is
core of
very
that,
Star
and
Trek.
you hit on it, is it's not what you visually see. You need to look past that and see who's writing, because you'll find yourself being a fan of episodes written by a certain person or certain group. Do you see what I'm saying? Because you align with them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, that's something
Certainly. Like if I see something that Neil Gaiman's written,
and
I
that's
will
the thing.
go
Like
read it.
you don't think of that. You only look at the superficial visual stuff, or books. Yeah.
Hey, don't say you.
Yeah, because as a kid, even as a kid, like I noticed, I started following writers. So like, there's like Michael Reeves. If you have a '80s cartoon written by Michael Reeves,
and
you're
I don't
gonna see
mean
an
like
awesome
you, like
episode.
me. So I'm talking about me. Yeah. Like
I know, I'm just
But that's
teasing,
the
I'm
thing.
sorry.
Like I am a visual person, so I don't always look at the writers or who the writing team is. So that's something that I'm still struggling with and still learning. So it's one of those things where you need to go deeper than just what you're seeing or what you're watching, because odds are what you're a fan of is the person behind the scenes. Right? Yeah.
True. Yeah. And then for me, it's also fun that if when it comes to like Star Wars or Star Trek and stuff I love, it's still fun to have discussions about how they're fucking up, or like how like, so it's just like the like Star Wars and Star Trek taught me about writing and making TV shows and world building. So that's always there. So when people say, "Well, just go away from Star Wars," then I can't. It's like the heart of like story writing and friendship to me, and I'm always going to keep talking about it. So even when they do a bad job, there's a lot of fun creativity that can come from it.
And especially to the Star Trek fandom, I mean, it's very weird because we have like major fandom battles when something's new. Like right now, if you go into any forum, there's just like a lot of anger about people who like Picard, who don't like Picard, who like Discovery, who don't like Discovery. Except for all the shows that are like 10 years or older, literally Enterprise and anything before it, we all just like, even if it's our favorite or if it's our least favorite or we never watch it or we watch it all the time, all of us engage in like making fun of it and
It's
like
fun.
calling some characters jerks and calling some characters like other things. Just making fun of it doesn't mean we don't like it. And it's so wild to see like the fandom being all like up in arms now. I know that in 10 years we're like our opinions aren't necessarily going to change, but we're all going to be fine with us having divergent opinions.
Yeah.
So I just wish we could do that now.
Well, it's like TNG is my show. I love it, but most of season 1 was a complete shit show.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Disagree, because I'm a fanboy like it though.
Really, it's a struggle for me
Like, I
to
know
try to
everybody
rewatch
hates
the first
the
season.
season
But
one,
TNG is also like my favorite is TOS, so I can't say shit about that because a lot of TOS is just like not. Oof.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try again, but yeah, it's really rough looking.
Listen, it was submarine warfare. They had no budget. And the funniest thing about TOS, you know, the reason they have so many episodes that are like the Nazi episode or the Western episode or whatever is because they're like, we don't have any budget. What just finished filming? Let's go borrow their set and costume. So that's just like, it's ridiculous. You should make fun of it. It deserves to be made fun of. But also, I mean, you can make fun of something and recognize that it's worthy.
Yeah.
So the fact that we make fun of Picard isn't necessarily a detriment.
Yep, it's all part of being a fan.
Yeah, let's just be jerks together, everyone. As long as we're talking about it, we're supporting it. So
Yeah.
I guess that's all I got to say for today. Sorry we went on so long. We care a lot.
We
care
passionate
so much.
and we are fans.
Anyway, yeah, so thank you so much for joining us. As usual, you can find us at www.therearefourhosts.com. Please check us out on Pop Geeks because they have a forum and we really want to chat with y'all because I like knowing everyone's opinion. I'm nosy like that. You can also find us on Twitter at 4hosts. That's the letter 4 instead of the word. And I think that's everything. Anybody else have anything to say?
Yeah.
I think Keith does.
Remember, keep looking up.
Yes.
Thanks for
you.
listening, everyone. We really appreciate your support. We really, really love. Well, first off, I really love these three, and we really love the support that we're getting from everyone. So thank you very much for listening, and we look forward to yet another podcast.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
See y'all next time.